Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and today we're doing another pick a card. So today's pick a card is the start of my Akashic record reading series. I forgot what I was saying then. So I asked you guys the other day on YouTube to let me know what questions you'd like me to ask in regards to the Akashic records. If you guys do not know what the Akashic records are, it's basically a documentation of the soul. It's not literally a document that you have in the hand, but it's every memory, karmic, non-karmic, starseed wise, past lives. It's every memory and part of your soul, all of your life charts, all of your life's plans, your soul purposes, your gifts, everything, they all belong in your Akashic records. And when we dive into these Akashic records, we can find our soul's origins, soul's past lives, gifts that we have, traits that we've picked up and we've learned, the true origins of our soul, the starseed elements, all of that. It's all within that. And I get a lot of comments asking about that. Because I've done a couple of Akashic record readings before, and I wanted to know what you guys wanted me to ask in regards to that. And one of the main ones that I saw coming up, which I wanted to get to first, which is psychic gifts. But we're not just going to be taking a look in this reading at just any old psychic gifts that you have. I want to dive into you guys' Akashic record, and I want to try and see if I can pick up on psychic gifts that you're not even aware that you have. Psychic gifts that you may just take as being part of your nature, but it's actually a gift you've worked on, but it's so in your, it's so made up in your DNA you don't even realize that you have it. So the purpose of this video, of course, I'll be talking about psychic gifts that you have because they'll probably come through, but I've asked Spirit, like, I want you guys to walk away from the video not just with a better understanding of your own gifts, but coming away with an understanding of gifts that you didn't even realize that you had and knowing how to utilize them. I hope that makes sense. That's what I want to do with this video. I've been really excited to film this. I've been a bit under the weather, so I haven't been able to film it, but I've been itching to get this video done because I love these readings. You guys know these readings are my favorite. So I'm gonna get straight in, otherwise I'll talk for ages. You could tell I'm excited. So pile number one, we have the black obsidian with the clear quartz chips on it. It's pile one. Pile number two, we have the red jasper. Pile number three, we have the jade crystal. And pile number four, we have the amethyst cluster. So see which crystal you are drawn to. The timestamps are going to be in the description box as always, and I will see you guys at your timestamp. Hey pal one, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what psychic gifts that you have that you may not be aware of. We're going to be taking a look at the origin and roots of your psychic gifts, as well as deep diving into your Akashic records to find even more information about this. So let's get in. You guys chose the black obsidian with the clear quartz chips. I'm going to pop that up here and we are going to get straight in. Oh wait, that's not in the corner. There we go. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to start with tarot. We'll move on to your oracles then. I probably won't use a lot of tarot, maybe 3 cards. If more fall out, then that's cool. But I'll also be using oracle cards because I prefer to, with these types of readings specifically, direct channel and just be given the information rather than read anything. But we'll get in. So pile number one, please, spirit guides, tap me into my pile number one's Akashic records, tap me into my pile number one's spirit guides, and allow them to show me what psychic gifts my pile number one have that they may not be aware of. Tap me in to my pile number one's Akashic records. Tap me in. Okay, straight away they're taking me to the solar plexus. They're referencing you like the sun. They're mentioning the Egyptian god. They're mentioning Ra, the Egyptian god. They're taking me to Egypt straight away, and I feel like you would have. Let me put the cards down and just channel this a minute because it's coming in bits. I feel like a lot of your gifts that you have within you in this particular lifetime would have come from the Egyptian times. They're heavily taking me there. And they're actually showing me something that spirit presented to me not that long ago, because and they're telling me to explain it to you because I feel like it'll resonate with you. If you guys have been drawn to Egypt and the pyramids, I don't know why, but I always believed that like the pyramids were just tombs for like the bodies to go to afterwards. I always just believed it as that. And I had a really strong download in REM state the other day, and the Egyptian pyramids were in color. They weren't like what they look like now, they were in color. And the top of the pyramid had like geometric shapes engraved in, and it was like the Merkaba, right? And they were a different color up on the top, and that point at the top of the pyramid held like a lot of weight, and it helped energies from the higher realms kind of connect to the earth. Like that was literally what I was being shown energetically. And like I said, I always believed the tombs were like just where like the bodies went and stuff. However, I was in a group of like a pod of, whenever spirits say like a group, they say pods, but I was in a group of people, right? And I was a female, and we were going into the pyramids. But what we were doing in the pyramids is we were like we were learning about the metaphysical, and we were learning how to open up our crowns and connect to spirit, because that point at the top of the pyramid helped us do that, and our crowns would open, and we just learn how to download and get gifts. And that's what I was shown in my dream the other day, and they're telling me to reference that, meaning that you would have had lifetimes doing that, where you would have gone into places in the Egyptian times or into the pyramids like I'm explaining, if that rings a bell for you, if even if you've had that download yourself or a dream like it. And I feel like that's where you would have learned a lot of the gifts that you have today, whether it's channeling, psychic, it's all to do with the crown and the third eye. And the first thing that I'm being told is for you guys specifically, Pal One, to be very careful with your hair and very careful with your crown chakra, because you are very, very, I almost feel like you're open at all times. You're very open in your crown. You can just download instantly. You're instantly getting downloads from the higher realms. It's all the time. And I feel like you've even had people try and make you doubt these gifts, but they're so strong embedded into you. Like, you know straight away if someone doesn't like you. You know straight away if something's going to happen. You have this knowing. I feel like you have a lot of like prophetic dreams, and not just prophetic dreams about your own life, but prophetic dreams about things that are going on in the world, you know what I mean? Wars that may be happening, or crises that may be happening, and natural disasters that will happen. You'll know it before it happens, I'm being told. Or even if you don't remember the dream or the download, you'll energetically remember it, because I feel like your Akashic records are literally like open to you. I feel like you're always downloading from them. You're always getting information from them. And the message here is for you guys to be more confident in that, because I feel like the thing is about with claircognience and channeling and all of that, it's one of those gifts where we don't know if it's a gift or not sometimes, because to have that psychic knowing, who's to say we could be wrong? Who's to say that it's just a thought? Who's to say it's just a projection? We don't realize it's that until we utilize it and really expand on it. And I'm being told that you have claircognience, you have the ability to download, because your crown chakra is very open, has been in many lifetimes. But as well as that, I feel like you, because your crown's very open, you'll take on a lot of information. Your hair, and this has come up in a psychic, was it the Starseed? I think it was another Akashic record reading. It was the Starseed one, and I think it was the Lyran one that came through. And one of the first messages I got was to do with the hair, and it was like, your hair is like an antenna. It picks up energy. Like when your hair's down, or when your hair's just like open, you can go into like a crowded space, or even on social media, and you'll just pick up everything. You'll just pick up loads of energy from other people. So I'm being told for you to be very careful with your hair. You know, like when you cleanse decks with oils and things like that, you'll pour a little bit of oil on a deck, or pour a little bit of oil on your crystals. Pour some oil if you can, if it's not like reactive and you're not allergic to it, like on your scalp, because I feel like that would be really helpful as a message. I'm being told cypress oil. And I'm also being told for you guys to burn like resins, like you know, charcoal discs with resins. I feel like that's something you would have done way back in the day, and I feel like it'll resonate with cleansing you now, maybe more than, you know, sage and stuff like that. I feel like that particular type, like resins, I feel like that would work with you. But strong connection to Egypt, you have a strong, I feel like you're aware of it, but I'm being told to just like mention it to you now. Like, you can download so much information. It's wild. Like, that's what I'm being told, and you do it all the time. And that's why Spirit wants you to trust your instincts, trust your intuition, and listen when these things come through. So let's actually pull some cards. So pile number one. What psychic gifts do my pile number ones have that they're not aware of? I don't feel like this is a psychic gift, but they're referencing it. You know, when you read, this is really bizarre. You know, when you read like books, this is like odd to even explain. When you read books, you read it like word for word, right? It's like the cat went home. Like, you read each word, right? But there's something about you looking at a page and being able to absorb the energy and knowing what's going to be in the book before you've actually read it. Like, you haven't even read the words, but you've almost like downloaded it into your brain before you've read it. That seems odd for me to say, but I feel like it'll resonate for who it needs to resonate with. Like, you're looking at like you just open a book and before you've only read like the first 3 words, but the rest of the book, because your eyes glanced over it, you just pick up on the essence of what the story is. That's something that came through. And I'm being told there would have been a lifetime where you would have just read symbols, like not words. It was just symbols that you'd have, like runes and stuff, and that's how you would like read. So you learnt in those times to pick up the intention of the person creating a symbol through the symbol without actually reading what it meant. Does this make sense to you? Like, whoever wrote that symbol on that rock, they could have wrote it with anger, and you would have taught yourself in a past life to pick up the intention of that symbol and how it was wrote and absorb it straight away. So before you even crack the code of what that symbol meant, you energetically picked it up. And you do that with anything like tarot. Before you even knew the meaning of the cards, you understood them because of the intent behind it, because you naturally picked up on the origins of where that card was made and what that person meant by the card. So you didn't have to like go and read all of these things before you knew what it meant. You crack that later, but there's something about that. Like, you'll read a book. This is so interesting. This is why I love these type of readings. You like open a book and you just understand the intent before you read it, and that's a gift you have. And you taught yourself that, like, and I'm being told eons and eons ago, like a really long time ago. And that's why you guys can read geometric shapes and understand the meaning of a geometric shape. You can do that. And even if you're a bit about it right now, keep having a go at it, because I feel like that's going to crack for you. You'll be able to understand them before you actually understand the meaning of it. Same with like runes, tea leaves, rose petals. Like, you understand the intent before the actual physical creation, and that's a gift you have. Ooh, that was interesting. That was really interesting. Pile 1. What let's just lay some cards now, otherwise you're just gonna be looking at a blank screen. Pile number 1, please, spirit guides. What gifts do my pile 1s have that they're not aware of? Tap me into my pile 1s, Akashic records. What were you showing me at the beginning, spirit, about the solar plexus and the sun energy? Okay. Do you live somewhere sunny? If not, I feel like you may relocate there. A lot of your lifetimes, you have been very connected to the sun. And I'm being told that, of course, obviously the sun is like a life force energy, but I feel like this is what I do, especially because I live where it's like, it's sunny and summery in the like spring, summertime, and then it's like you don't get a lot of sun in the winter. And in the summer, before I do anything, if the sun is out, I like to sit in my garden and just like open up to light codes. And I'll just sit in front of the sun. I won't look at it directly, obviously, but I'll allow it to hit my third eye and my crown, and I'll just get my mind to go blank, and I'll just allow whatever needs to come through. And when that happens, I have so many images. Sometimes I can't even make sense of them. It's from past lives, like my Akashic records, that happens. And I'm being told for you guys to do that, because I feel like there's a connection to the sun and you being able to take on light codes and get parts of your Akashic records to come through. So what I'm being told is, if you guys like wonder like, how can I tap into my Akashic records, how do I do that, there's a reference of you getting out to the sun, letting your mind go blank, close your eyes, allow the sun to hit your crown and third eye. Obviously don't look directly at it, and just allow what comes through to come through, because I feel like doing that, even with the intention of tapping into your Akashic records, messages will come through. I've never done it intently, I just do it and see what comes through, but there's a reference for you to do that. So let's get these cards down. Pile 1. Ooh. The Wheel of Fortune. Pile number 1. Tap me into pile number 1's Akashic records. Tap me into my pile number 1's Akashic records. I'm just looking at the Sphinx up here and then they're reading books. I feel like a lot of your psychic gifts were built upon during the Egyptian times. I'm also being taken to Atlantis as well. Pile number... You may have had lifetimes in Atlantis, I feel. That would have also been a time where you were connecting to psychic gifts. Pile 1. Pile number 1, please, Spirit Guide. Oh my god, okay. This is coming through. You would have had lifetimes in Atlantis. And I feel like you were part of either like some sort of like high council, or you almost felt like it feels like an archaeologist. There's like a lot of information coming through. I feel like you were some sort of channeler in those times to the higher realms and getting wisdom. And I feel like when Atlantis fell, your soul incarnated. And incarnated again, they're taking me to Egypt again. And again, they're referencing these schools and these places where you would go to tap into spirit. And I feel like you were one of those people that would bring the wisdom of Atlantis to the Egyptians and to the people in your circle. Like, you were one of those people. Yeah, that's something that's coming through. I feel like you would have revealed bits of information that you remembered from those past lives. Very interesting. I feel like you have a lot of Egyptian deities and, you know, gods and goddesses. I feel it all around you. I feel like you either work with them or they're around you waiting to kind of work with you, it feels. We also have the King of Cups. I'm going to leave just 3 cards because we're going to pull Oracle. We have the 8 of Cups at the back of the deck. So let's put that there. Okay. 10 of Swords. Why do we have the 10 of Swords here? Please, Spirit Guides. Wheel of Fortune, King of Cups. Okay. Okay. So, it's funny. I feel like you're here, Pile 1, to bring a lot of wisdom from back in the day back, because believe it or not, I feel like you'll understand what I'm talking about. You actually like live out your past lives in this incarnation. You have a very strong connection to your past lives. And I feel like you have a very strong connection to like civilizations that would have fell or wars that would have happened. And I feel like your soul remembers it. So you could be like a Lyran Starseed. You remember how Lyra was destroyed, or you'll remember little things like when Atlantis was destroyed, or Lemuria. Like, your soul has them embedded within you, quite deep within you. And I feel like it's all there in your Akashic records. And I feel like your soul purposefully incarnates to pass on information and bring the energy and the essence of those times to this reality, so we don't make the same mistakes. Because the thing is about history, it has a thing of like repeating itself, and I feel like you're one of those souls that's like, I don't want to see any negative fall on people. I don't want to see people using these psychic gifts for wrong again. I don't want people getting like illusioned by people, if that's even a word. Like, I don't want people having the wool pulled over their eyes. Like, I don't want that. So I'm gonna incarnate, and I'm gonna keep a little bit of that veil open, so I remember all of these past lives like I've done in my other past lives. I feel like you've always had that veil open, and whenever it's needed, I'm gonna bring those informations from the Lemurian times, the Atlantean times, because your soul was here from like creation, I feel, of Mother Gaia, and I'm gonna bring it all through so that I can aid humanity, so it's like we can finally shift forward. Because there's this feeling of your soul looking at life and going, we've been going in a cycle for a while and it's time it broke. So I'm going to bring this information down to have that kind of shift. And that's why you're so connected to such ancient civilizations. I'm being told Mayan civilizations, like you're really connected to that. And I feel like there's so many gifts you've accumulated on the way, and they're all there within you. I'm also being told you're very good at working with herbs. And if you're looking to go into herbology, there's a big thumbs up. I feel like you're really good at working with herbs, because the thing is about a lot of the times in you know, back in the day, believe it or not, a lot of people that were like you, that were connected to their psychic gifts, they were very careful with what they ate. They were very connected to Mother Gaia, and they were quite herbalistic in ways. And I feel like your soul is naturally quite a what's it called, minimalist, I hope I say that correctly. Your soul is someone that doesn't need a lot, but can bring a lot to them. Does that make sense? You don't need a lot, but you can manifest a lot and bring it to you. And I feel like in this lifetime, I hope I'm making sense, in this lifetime, you are bringing the simplistic nature and almost bringing that heaven back to earth. Yes, okay, electricity, I forget my words when I channel. Electricity is cool, and yes, all of these new things are cool, but let's not remember these sacred tools and what they mean. Let's not remember these sacred memories, that connection to source, our heart, herbology, our connection to Mother Gaia. Let's not forget these things, because yes, we can advance and have technology, but these things need to coincide for us to be balanced. And we've gone round in circles praising the material, praising man-made, when we're not praising why we're even here in the first place. And there needs to be a balance, otherwise it's going to crash and burn like every time before. It'll be war after war after war. It'll be disconnection through disconnection, which makes more room for illusion. I don't want that. So I want to bring these things back. So you have a lot of sacred memories and core memories in your soul that connect you to the roots of like human beings. I hope this is making sense. And I think that you have a very strong connection to Mother Gaia herself. You may work with Mother Gaia herself, but there's this reference, I'm finding out how to put it into words. Nature listens to you because you speak through nature, because you speak through energy. Some people are disconnected to their spiritual body, so nature to them is, you know, as much to them as plastic is, whereas you speak the language of energy, and that's a gift you have. So because of that, when you speak that language of energy and you see through energy, you understand energy. Perhaps you're like myself, but you don't care about time. I do not care about time. The only date I really care about is the astrological new year and my birthday. They're the only two dates I care about, right? Anything else, when people say 3 weeks to, I don't know what that means. It'll come when it comes. I just speak in energy. I feel like you're like that, or I feel like you're getting to that point where you're understanding that's how your soul likes to live. So you speak through energy. So what I'm being told is, when you then speak, nature listens to you because you're speaking its language. When you speak, animals listen to you because you speak their language. You see that you speak through that hearty energy, that connection to source, where it all comes from. So with you, when you're working with herbs, you say to a plant that you're growing, like tomatoes, you speak to that plant, as crazy as it may seem. I don't think it'll sound crazy to you guys though. Please aid me with the nutrients I need. Please cleanse my body. Please cleanse my gut. Please bring awareness to X, Y, and Z. And then you allow that to grow and you nurture it and you eat it. That plant is going to listen to you very strongly because you speak to it in energy. I feel like animals do that. Birds will do that with you, and you'll notice that the more you practice it. And that's a gift that you have as well. You speak to nature. You speak to animals, and you speak to people too. I feel like you have a commanding presence. People may try and rebel, but I feel like you really do speak to people at their core, not just the ego. I feel like you just diminish past that. You speak to people at their core, and that's a gift that you have. Their soul and their heart. You may find people just dip and run away, or feel quite intimidated by you, or don't know how to connect to you, or feel a bit awkward, and it's because you're not just speaking to them. You're speaking to their energy, their spirit, and a lot of people are scared of that. A lot of people are scared of their own souls and their hearts because they've been told vulnerability is wrong, and no. And you speak to that. So that's a message coming through. I'm also being told that, and it's a gift that you're learning in this lifetime. You're learning to, no, let me rephrase back. You're building on it in this lifetime. You've learned it before. You may have a water rising or have a lot of water in your chart. Reason being, that's a gift. You're an empath. You'll pick up on emotions. You'll pick up on people. You have a lot of gifts, by the way. You'll pick up on people. You'll pick up on their energy, their feelings, their emotions. You can take that on. I feel like you may have been born into a bit of a whirlwind where there was a lot of people that were, I wouldn't say disconnected to their emotions. They were acting out of the lower vibration of their emotions. Maybe they were emotionally manipulative. Maybe they were emotionally burdened. There's a lot of catastrophe and you would take it all on, right? Because I feel like, you do have that healing nature. What you're learning in this lifetime, I feel like in childhood and maybe your early teens, maybe late teens, you were quite emotionally chaotic, not through any fault of your own. You just picked up on so much, you didn't know how to stabilize it. And you're learning in this lifetime with this King of Cups to stabilize that energy. Use what may have felt like a curse to you as a gift. Take on that energy and those emotions and transmute it without it even touching the sides with you, because you're learning to observe, don't absorb. Sorry for the noise outside, guys. It's getting to spring now and it's hot, so the window's open and they like to make noises outside. But that's something that I'm being told. You're building upon that gift in this lifetime to really expand your emotional body and stay firm while on the earth plane. That's something you're learning in this lifetime. You may be like, I'm so sensitive. I don't understand why I'm so sensitive. It's a gift, but you're learning to ground it into the physical and focus on detachment so that you can walk away from what doesn't serve you emotionally and know what emotion is yours, what emotion is somebody else's. And leave it be and not feel like you have to bend over backwards and aid in that sense. That's something that you're working on in this lifetime. But these other gifts that I talked about, other than the emotional one, they're already embedded in you. You've already mastered them. I don't even think there's any expanding on them. It's more so awakening to them or understanding that it's a gift. So let's pull oracle cards. What card shall I begin with? Do I need to shut my window? No, I feel like it'll be okay. Sorry guys, I ended up having to shut the window, so hopefully that's not as loud. You'll probably still be able to hear it, but it won't be as loud as earlier. There's about 3 different people out there just playing with swords and chainsaws and motorbikes, and yeah, that's what's going on. It's pretty busy out there. So, spirit guides. Pile number 1, tap me into the Akashic records of my pile number 1. A lot of your lifetimes as well, I do want to say, when I'm looking at the books as well, I feel like a lot of your lifetimes were spent learning, studying the stars, studying astrology, studying numerology, studying religions. I feel like you belong to different religions in your lifetime, where you'd be like completely connected to that religion, because I feel like in this lifetime, there's sometimes when we incarnate, the veil to the higher realms can sometimes be shut, and that's our soul's choice. We decide that we want it shut because we want to be 3D, we want to be human, we want to learn those types of lessons, and that's fine. And then when people want to bring those gifts, if they're working as a guide or some sort of healer, they'll have that veil, they'll have it quite open. Or sometimes certain experiences can have that triggered open in a way. And I feel like you've always had that open in other lifetimes, and I just feel like what you're bringing through as well is a wisdom from certain religions, because even though in today's day and age certain religions have been maybe controversial to say, but it's what I've channeled from spirit, have been twisted or shifted and changed to turn into something else, there is a pure essence if you read behind the lines of them that people may have like distorted in ways at times, and that goes for every religion. So I know people sometimes will like demonize religions and stuff, but there is an essence of beauty in these religions, right? I feel like people sometimes will demonize Western religion, but I feel like when you read between the lines and you actually understand the core of it, and I feel like you know this, there is actually wisdom to be had there that we can seek without, other things. And I just feel like with you guys, you've had a lot of lifetimes being completely dedicated to certain religions. So now that what's it called, the veil is a little bit open, you can bring through the parts of that resonate with you and put it in this melting pot to have a better understanding of life. Because I feel like you may have like shifted from one religion to the other, or maybe like found little pieces in different bits of religion. It's because your soul's remembering it and bringing the parts that resonated with it through, and parts of it that would aid you on your journey through. So that's something that you do. Pile number 1, please, spirit guides. Pile number 1. Pile number 1. Pile number 1, please, spirit guides. Pile number 1. What psychic gifts? Oh, we have 2 that have come out for you guys. So you guys have the sword. Am I putting this over here? Let me put these together so that you can see them. So we have the sword. And we have a gift. Okay. So what I'm being told with these cards, guys, I have just like taken a look at the book to understand the essence of it before I really pull on it. When the sword card specifically came out, it reminded me of like the Sword and the Stone. And again, like Harry Potter with the Sword of Gryffindor, when he's courageous enough to bring the sword out, and it only presents itself to a true Gryffindor in a time of need. So there's an energy of that. Like I'm being told that even in, because we have the lightning here as well, and we have like the sun and the moon, even in your darkest times, I feel you've been able to rebirth, completely lift yourself out. I feel like when some of your greatest moments, and not just in this lifetime, but in past lives, some of your greatest moments have come through you just either hitting rock bottom or you being backed into a corner. When there's pressure applied, especially in like past lives, I feel like this is where it's come from. It ignites this part in you, and I feel like this is some form of an ascension, but not in the way that people think of ascension, where you're like ascending and you're going through. I feel like a part of your heart and a part of your soul pulls through when you are faced with like all odds, or you are just backed into a corner. And I feel like rock bottoms for you catapult you 10 dimensions up and bring so much understanding to your life and push you forward. I hope this is making sense. So like if you've been like, let's say, feeling really low, and you've just felt yourself getting lower and lower and lower, then you may start to question why you're here. You'll reach that dark night. You'll reach those deep emotions. You'll reach it and you start to question, why am I here? What's the point? If I'm going through this, I'm going through that. And the minute your whole body and your mind starts to question it, this force of nature comes through your soul, and it's your heart and your gift, and your soul just like catapults you forward, and you kind of like get this strength out of nowhere to like push forward. I feel like there's nothing you could go through that would turn you dark or have you lose your way, because faced with like adversity, it's when you shine and jump forward. I feel like a lot of lifetimes as well, you've been like the hero in the kind of like hero story, like you've been that, and I feel like that's embedded in you. And I feel like no matter what, of course you choose you know to have that like peaceful life or whatever, but I feel like I want you to know that there's nothing that you can't shine through, because it's your heart pushing you through. And there's this determination from your soul that just bounces. And it's coming from past lives where you've seen maybe people around you, or maybe it's happened to yourself, like gifts being taken away, powers being taken away, lives being taken when they shouldn't have. And it's triggered this part of you where you've wanted to fight, but not fight in the sense of I'm going to fight you, in the sense of like the heart, I'm jumping forward, I'm protecting people, I'm doing my bit. Like there's a feeling of that coming through, and that's a gift that you have. You spring into action when you hear these things. I feel like you may even feel stuck, and then you'll see on the news that people are going through this, or this has happened, or this person's going through depression, or this, and something within you just it just triggers something within you where you just jump to action. You just pull yourself to action, and it reminds you why you're here. So that's something that's coming through with the sword. Like there is nothing that you cannot utilize, transform, and use to bring in a greater gain. That's a message coming through with this card. And then with the Agape card, this talks about connecting to a higher power. You know what I mean? Connecting to like your faith. And what was I saying about like religions and stuff like that? I feel like your soul comes from like the higher realms. Like I feel like you're very, I feel like either this is one of your last lifetimes on earth, or you work simultaneously in the higher realms as a guide, as well as incarnating on earth as a guide. Like you're always guiding. And I feel like the reason that you've got all of these gifts available, and why you stay true to yourself, is because you're so connected to the higher realms. You're so connected to the life source, which I call the God source. You guys can call it God, you can call it Nirvana, you can call it whatever you want, the universe, whatever. I call it like either the universe or the God source. I call it. It's that seed within us all that is connected to, you know, the higher realms and all that is. You're so connected to that. And I feel like because of that, you see that seed in everything around you, in nature, in animals, in people. So because of that, and so you have those good intentions, I feel like that's why you're able to build on all of these psychic gifts and have them come through, because you use them for good. And I feel like that's another gift. You see the God source, the potential, the beauty, the limitless potential in everything. Everything. And that's another reason why you come down. It's like, I know where we could elevate to. So I'm going to bring as much wisdom as we can to try and stop us going round in this merry-go-round. Because I know we can ascend from this place. I know we can all come into unison. I know we can all heal from our inner child. I know we can all do that. I know we can all tap into our potential and our strength. So I'm going to aid that. And that's another gift that you have, because you're very dedicated to that part, you know? So let's take a look at the other oracle cards. You do have the threshold at the back of the deck. And what I'm being told with the threshold is that you guys have no problem swimming into the darkest waters to save those parts of yourself and then transmute them back to light. Like, it's almost coming through like, psh, brushing it off the shoulder. Like, I've done it a million times. Doesn't faze me at all. I'll completely lose myself, but I'll find myself just as quick. It's just coming through from your soul, like, done it a bunch of times. No worries at all. Earth doesn't faze me. Like, bring it on. Like, there's a feeling of that from your higher self coming through. I feel like you're a very elevated soul. Let's pull some more oracle cards. Pile number 1, please, Spirit Guides. Tap me into their Akashic records. Where do my pile number 1 psychic gifts stem from? What psychic gifts do they have that they're not aware of? Child of the cosmos. Right, what was I saying about you guys seeing the universe and everything, seeing the universe in yourself? You see that seed, that God source, right? The card you literally have is child of the cosmos. The intelligence of the universe lies within you. Oh my God, what was I saying? What was I saying? I'm not even going to go around in circles and say it again, because you know what I said, but this is basically letting you guys know a bit of confirmation in what I said. You see the truth in everything, even when it's a dark truth and people want to turn away, you see it and you dissect it to the point that you can transmute it to light no matter how dark it is. And it's a gift that you have within you, you know? Another card, please, Spirit Guides. Another card, please. Pile 1. What psychic gifts do my pile 1s have that they're not aware of? What psychic gifts do my pile 1s have that they're not aware of? What have we got? What do we have? We have activated earth. Oh, wow. Okay. We have power places, ley lines, trust where you're led. So just there it says power places, and there's a light coming from the higher realms to this little building here. What was I just talking about? The Egyptian pyramids and that download that I had in REM state of the Egyptian pyramids bringing the way that they were shaped and the Merkaba at the top of the pyramid engraved in. What was I saying about it bringing essences from the higher realms to the physical? And that's where you would have learned those gifts. Because these places that are outlined around the world, whether it's like in Mayan culture and in any culture, right? Egyptian, anywhere. They're not there by mistake. Even crop circles and things like that. You don't have to believe in crop circles. I personally do. They're not there by mistake. And it's bringing energy from the higher realms to the physical, right? Human beings act like that too. You are a human being that acts like that too. And these places you're being called to visit, Bali, Indonesia, Hawaii, Mexico, I just got told England, Greece, wherever. There's a reason you're being called there. There's parts of yourself there. There's an essence of yourself there, because that's where you learn certain gifts. And if you do get a chance to travel there or even connect to it in any sort of way, you'll find downloads coming through, for sure. So listen to where you're being called to. You don't have to, even if you can't go there, that's fine. It doesn't mean you're not going to get the downloads. You can just tap into the lands. Sometimes I'll like look at images on Google Images, or if people are vlogging, and I'll like pause the video, look at the nature, like the nature around, and I'll call to that nature and ask it to like bring me information of when I might have been there. I do that sometimes. So I'm being called for you to do that. What's the back of the deck? The Courageous Peony. I hope I say that correctly, because I always say that word wrong. The Courageous Peony. Multifaceted, unique nature. Let yourself be seen. You are a very respected prophet and a respected source of light in a lot of lifetimes. And I feel like you are in the higher realms. You're meant to be like that in this lifetime. So allow yourself to shine. People have tried to dim it. You've got a lot of gifts that have just come through in this reading. A lot. You know what I mean? Your soul's been around the block. Don't allow people to make you feel like you're stupid or woo-woo or whatever the case. You have a lot of wisdom within you. Let it out. Even if people are like, I don't get it. Okay, you're not meant to get it. The right people will. It's fine. That's a message from Spirit, to just allow that to shine. Allow that to shine. People have tried to take your power, but because no one can really take your essence of power. No one's really understood this power in your crown chakra and your third eye. So the way people have tried to attack your power is through the solar plexus, making you feel unworthy. This is why the solar plexus came in at the beginning. Now they're coming full circle with it. People didn't understand, how do I take this energetic power away? Well, I don't know how, so I'm going to attack what I can see in the physical. So I'm going to attack their worth. I'm going to attack their confidence. I'm going to do that because then they're not going to feel their own power. And then it'll be harder for them to use whatever it is that's shining out of them that I don't quite understand. And that's what people would target within you. And the more you come back to that self-confidence and that self-worth, and you stand in your essence and you shine it out, the more you're unstoppable in this lifetime. And that's a message coming through. It's like it's like that beast that you feel people might have like slayed, it's within you. And like people don't want to wake that. And when I say beast, it doesn't have to be anything negative. It's that part of you that wants to roar and let that, wisdom out, and let all of that out. And it's a part of you. Don't allow people to make you feel like you need to shun it or slay your own beast. It's there to work with you. It's like the Strength card. When we look at the Strength card, the lady didn't kill the lion. She stands beside it. She tamed it. And now that lion can be used to like work with her. It's like Khaleesi. Is it Khaleesi from Game of Thrones? I never watched Game of Thrones, but I knew about her story. And I know there was something to do with like she had the dragons and then she like used them when she needed them, but they like listened to her. That's kind of like the story of the Strength in a way. So it's like taming the beast within you, but it can still work for you in certain ways. It's like the shadow self. We don't kill the shadow self. We understand the parts of it, integrate them, and then we use the shadow self in ways that we need to. My shadow self pops out when people are trying to take advantage of me, because my shadow self's still there, but I've taught my shadow self, we don't be insecure anymore. We stand up for ourselves. So when someone's trying to pull on me, my shadow self steps forward and is like, stay back. Like, and it works for me. You know what I mean? Because we balance. We don't kill the shadow. And that's something that I wanted to share with you guys. So final card, please, Spirit Guides, the Akashic Records of my pile ones. I've really enjoyed this reading, and we're only on pile 1, so I'm excited to do the rest as well. This is really interesting. Pile number 1. What psychic gifts do my pile number 1s have that they're not aware of? Take me into the Akashic Records of my pile 1s. Power of the Divine Masculine. That's what we have here. Funnily enough, when your soul comes through, it comes through quite feminine, right? And I feel like you have a lot of connections to your Divine Feminine. I feel like you embody that very well. But I feel like one of the reasons that you're incarnating as well is because there's something about your karmic lines. We're coming into your lifetime now. Not past lives, ancestors would have had a disconnect to their Divine Masculine, or they would have lived out of the negative traits of the Divine Masculine, the lower traits of the Divine Masculine, or the feminines in your timeline going back would have been hurt or degraded in some way by the negative aspects of the Divine Masculines in other people. And I feel like you're here to not only activate the divine masculine within yourself, the higher parts, but to heal the essence of the divine masculine in your family line. Because I feel like there may be a lot of people in your past timelines that like that they're female or very connected to the divine feminine, and they have a very warped perception of what the divine masculine is, because all they've ever seen of it is all that they know, and it's like abuse of power, abuse in general, like all of that. And I feel like you're here as well to heal the divine masculine. And I feel like you are a divine feminine, but I feel like you're learning to bring forth the divine masculine traits, the healthy ones, so that you can balance yourself out. And then I feel like you're healing the understanding of the divine masculine in other people, so that when you get into a connection with someone, because I feel like you are more divine feminine in nature, I feel like the relationship you'd step into with someone would be with someone with divine masculine traits. It doesn't have to be a male, it's just divine masculine, like at the forefront. I feel like you're going to be one of the first people in your timeline to bring forth a divine masculine that is in those healthy traits and utilizes them in a healthy way. That's something that's coming through. I don't feel like it's something you're quote unquote learning. I feel like you took on the challenge to take on the wounded divine masculine to transmute it and heal it, is actually a message coming through. And that goes for why you've incarnated, because right now, the collective, we're not so much divine feminine. We've shunned a lot of that. We've been told to shun it, and we're in the divine masculine, but the negative parts of the divine masculine, the power without the balance, you know what I mean, the greed without the balance, like it's that's all a lot of society kind of cares for. And I feel like as well as you bringing that healing to your karmic line, you're bringing that healing to your ancestral line. You're bringing that healing to the collective as well, because we heal each of us individually through our family and ancestral lines to shine that light, and one by one we light it up. So in turn of you healing your ancestral line, you're healing not just the lineages but the collective as well, because you're doing your part for it. So that's something that's coming through. And the back of the deck, what was I saying about you being very connected to the God, source and spirit, the universe and all that? The back of the deck is reassurance of the golden light. Even in your darkest hours, the light shines on you. Like, the light just activates within you. Even in your darkest hours. Very, very, very strong soul. Very connected to the light. Very, very connected. And that's why these gifts come through so effortlessly, I'm being told. Well, damn, pal one, I love that. That's made my heart sing. I absolutely love that. There's even things that I've learned through this that I love. So, pal one, I hope you enjoyed this reading as much as I did. Thank you so much for letting me read your Akashic Records today. It's been a pleasure. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if this resonated for you, and let me know if you have these gifts, especially the one with the book and you can take on the symbols and words. Let me know about that, because that's so interesting. Never heard of it before. So let me know in the comments down below about that and how that's worked for you in this lifetime, and the other gifts as well. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Ready? So guys, ready? Hey pal 2, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what psychic gifts you have that you may not be aware of. I'm going to be tapping into your Akashic Records. So I'm going to be taking a look at the roots as to where your psychic gifts come from. I'm going to be taking a look at psychic gifts you already have and how deep they go, as well as gifts you're not aware of yet, or you may not be aware of yet, and basically anything that comes through. I just came from pal number 1, and so much information coming through. It was really exciting. I really enjoyed myself. So I'm so excited to get into this, pal 2. Very, very excited. So let's get in. So you guys chose the red jasper. I'm going to pop it up here. I'm going to start with tarot, and then we'll move on to your oracle cards. I'll only be using 3 tarot cards. If more fall, we'll use more, but I like to just channel pal 2 when I do this type of reading. So spirit guides, can you tap me into the collective of my pal number 2s? Can you tap me into the Akashic Records of my pal number 2s? Tap me into the spirit guides of my pal number 2s and show me what psychic gifts my pal 2s have that they may not be aware of. Tap me in to my pal 2s straight away, pal 2. I'm being taken to like a water body. I feel like your higher self and your essence in regards to your soul is coming from, I'm being taken to Pleiades, Andromeda, Mintaka. Those are the 3 places I'm being taken to. Could be other places, but it's those 3 being highlighted. And your soul's coming through as a water body. It's kind of crystal-like. It's kind of, it's starseed elements coming through here, pal, too. It's coming through crystal-like in a sense of, it's like a selenite type of essence coming through, and then it's like, but your body, it's not like physical, obviously. It's like a crystallized water. It's fluid, very, very fluid. That's how it's coming through. Sometimes it'll come through like in an air form. Yours is coming through very watery, very, very watery. And they're letting me know that a lot of your lifetimes you choose for your emotional body to be at the forefront, because that's the way you connect with others. If you haven't been aware with what I've said before, we have 4 bodies: the physical body, spiritual body, the emotional body, the mental body. And we have to balance them out, but some people have certain bodies that are more in front than others. Yours is the emotional body, because you connect to people through empathy, you connect to people through your heart, you connect to people through their emotions, you're intuitive, you read people. You may have a lot of water in your natal chart. I feel like you're definitely my water pile. This is why I'm picking up the water energy. However, if you don't have water in your natal chart, because sometimes I'll see people say, you always pick me in the water pile, but I don't have water in my chart. You may have water in your draconic chart, which is the chart of the soul, or you, again, it's just the essence of water coming through. It doesn't have to resemble in any natal chart or anything like that. It's just coming through. Or you may have a lot of like life path 7, soul age 7, Neptune energy in your numerology chart. But that's coming through. So a lot of your gifts are connected to empathy, the heart chakra, intuitive reading, and just embodying others' emotions. And it's a no-brainer for you. It's just like the way you move about. So that's this whole essence of you. But I want to get into gifts that you may not be aware of. That's what I want to see here. So pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Pile number 2. When you feel, because you ground in water, and I'm being told that I've told you this a lot of times, so you probably watched other readings where I've said this to you, or if you're new to the channel, hey, what's up? You may find other videos of mine where I tell you you ground in water, but I'm being told that when you feel disconnected, or you feel like bogged down by other people's emotions, I feel like foot spas would really do well for you, but I'm being told get like a bucket and put water in there. And then either place singing bowls over the water or just speak to the water, because water will listen to you, because you're very connected to it. It's a part of you. Speak to the water, ask it to cleanse you. Get your favorite crystals. I feel like light blue crystals and white crystals work with you. So like angelite, selenite, clear quartz. I feel like you're very strongly connected to crystals. Put them in the water. Put your feet in the water with them. And this will literally bring you back to your essence and flood all of the energy that you would have picked up from other people away from you. That's something I'm being told. And always keep either a bottle of water or a glass of water with you. So if you go out, keep a bottle of water with you. Keep a glass of water by the side of your bed, but don't drink it. Don't drink the water. Ask the water to absorb energies that are coming towards you. And the water will do that, but don't drink it. Pour it back then to Mother Gaia when you're done with it, and ask Mother Gaia to absorb it, and Mother Gaia will. Make sure you don't drink it. That's something that's coming through. So pile number 2. Let me lay the cards and I'll get in. What psychic gifts do pile 2 have that they're not aware of? You're quite aware of a lot of your gifts, to be fair. 8 of Cups. What psychic gifts do my pile 2s have that they're not aware of? Ooh. Am I using these? Yeah, okay. They wanted to use the tarot cards for you guys. That's fine. We have the Strength. We have the Star at the center of it as well, so that's cool. We have the 9 of Cups. A lot of water energy, do you see? And then we have the 8 of Wands. Okay, back of the deck with the 10 of Wands, but I'm going to keep this over here under the red jasper. What psychic gifts do my pal twos have that they are not aware of? You have the ability, and you don't even have to do much about it, it's just your energy. You have the ability to, I wouldn't even say inspire, heal others and shift their lives just by them being around you. Let me get into it. With this alchemization of this water energy coming through from your higher self and you know, your soul coming through, I feel like you have this pure heart of gold, and it's connected to everything that you do. Your psychic gifts and all of that, it's all coming from your heart space. And the way that you connect to people is through those emotions. So that's why they're so open for you. That's why you can read people. That's why you can pick up on these energies. And I'm not going to hone too much on that, just because I have spoken about it and you guys are aware of this. However, with you moving through life then, I feel like with this healing essence, you've drawn a lot of people that have been captivated by you, your essence. I feel like it comes across in the physical. I feel like you guys are very physically attractive. I feel like people are quite like, find you very alluring. You may not think it, but they do. And there's something to do with your hair, something to do with your lips, something to do with your eyes, and something to do with your tone of voice, the way that you speak. And I feel like you talk with your hands. You have Mercury in Leo, or you may have like Mercury in a water sign. And I just keep wanting to do this. Like, I feel like you're very like that. It's like a mermaid. And people are drawn in by that. But the only thing about that is, with you being connected to the higher realms like that, and you have this cleansing ocean energy about you, the closer people get to you, they have to in turn alchemize like you to stand next to you. Your essence in itself is a healing energy. Like water, it can evaporate into condensation, it can freeze into a solid, but the essence of it is water. And it can alchemize into all these different shapes and, you know, I don't know, like waves or whatever. But when we look at something like, for example, a physical object, it can't do that. So it's like you're drawing these physical objects, these people that are rigid in their physical body, rigid in their mental energy, rigid in all of that. Sorry for the noise outside, guys. Rigid in all of that. The more they come close to you, they can feel their compartments starting to shift and alchemize to be close to you or be a part of you. And to do that, then they have to do the inner work, and then they have to heal parts of themselves, and then they have to transmute. Human beings don't like change. Human beings fear change. They don't like that. So the more closer they're getting to you, they're having to shift and change. And you're looking at it as a curse. Why are people running away? Why are people getting triggered from me? Why are people running away from me? Why don't people understand me? But what's happening is those people that don't want to do the work, they're being repelled in a way, because those seats around you are meant for people just like you, because the right people are not only going to be able to alchemize to be at your level, but they've already done it, so they can just walk right in and take a seat next to you because they understand you. So you may have been looking at it like, why can't I connect to people? Why? It's because these seats are reserved for people in your life that connect to life the way that you do, because you have like a strong soul tribe, I'm being told, a strong soul tribe. And that's a gift that you have. You're able, just by being you don't even have to do anything. You can be the quietest person in the room. You're able to bring light to you. And those that do not have the pure intentions, those that do not have your best interest at heart, they'll be drawn to your energy and they'll be allured, and they're making their way up the mountain to get to that star. But then the closer they get in, it's like, oh no, I have to get rid of this mask. Oh no, I have to get rid of this. And I have to, oh no, I don't want to do, and they'll run. And then you're going, oh my God, is there something wrong with me? Nothing wrong with you. You were repelling anything that was going to kind of like, I wouldn't even say dim your light. I don't think anything could. Nothing can get too close to do that. You know what I mean? You repel just with your beautiful light. It's like shining out. It's like only light beings come here. And I feel like, yes, you've had your fair share of people that have taught you karmic lessons to have boundaries so that you don't extend off of that hill, to bring those people up to you. You've learned to not act as everybody's healer, because we can bring a horse to the water, but we can't make a drink sort of thing. You've learned that. And those people that did get a little bit close, they were able to get close enough to teach yourself a lesson of boundaries. But also, I feel like even just being in your life for like 5 minutes, they ended up shifting and learning things and having to alchemize in certain ways anyway. So that's a gift that you have. You bring people to their truth. So do not feel scorned when there's people around you that don't get you, that want to run away, that will try and project onto you because your light's shining on their shadows. Don't be scorned by that, because your gift, I feel like you know of the gift, but I'm being told I'm showing you it from a higher, elevated point of view. This gift of empathy, of all of this, you mirror this light out, and anyone that can't match it will run off. It's a gift because the right people then are going to come in. So that's a message coming through, and you've been learning in this lifetime that when people walk away, it's nothing that you did in the sense of there was nothing wrong with you. You weren't too much, they just wouldn't have been enough. Not that they would have been less than you, but I feel like you're here to do some big work. And when you're here to do that big work and someone is learning other sort of lessons, they can't derail that. So they had to be kind of like enclosed out. And that's something that's coming through. Because of this water energy, there is nothing in this lifetime you cannot alchemize. You can reach the depths, the darkest of depths, and transmute it right back out to light. You can do that. You can take on so much emotionally, baggage, all of that, and transmute it so much. And I feel like that's what you've done in other lifetimes, because you were shamans in other lifetimes, you were healers in other lifetimes, and this is why it's coming through. Specifically, I'm being taken to Native Americans, and then I'm being taken to the Aboriginals of Australia. I'm being taken there too. I'm being taken to like, as well, like tribes. And I feel like you were, I wouldn't necessarily say, okay, you were the leader. It was more than that. You were the core. You were the glue. You were the connection to the heart. Yes, we can alchemize and bring the wisdom down and connect to the plant medicine and bring it down. But what is wisdom without purpose? Because you walk with purpose. What is the point in having gifts if we do not have the connection to the heart, and we don't remember our humanness, and we don't remember how to nurture that humanness and bring the abundance of this vulnerability and these emotions and the physical body? What's the point if we don't bring that to the physical realm? What's the point of escaping into abyss and you know, starseeds and all of that? It's great, but it has to be balanced with empathy. You know, I feel like that's why you were the glue. There would have been people around you maybe that would work for kings and queens and all of that. And maybe you did in certain lives, but there would have come a time where you remembered, yes, okay, I could be well known. I could be commended for my work, but that's not really why I'm here. I don't want to impress these higher ups or these people. I want to connect to the people around me, because they're the source, they're the human beings. That's why we're here. And I want to connect to these people, these individuals, with their everyday lives, and I want to help them tap into their power, because I don't want certain people in power. I want us all in power. And the way we do that is we connect to those vulnerable sides, and we connect to them, and we nurture them, and we elevate that way. So that's a gift that you have, the empathy to connect to human beings and the direction to bring this wisdom to them and guide them and help them and nurture them. And there's shamanism coming through in the sense that you work with energy, soul retrieval. I feel like you've done that in so many lifetimes and in this lifetime. Like, you know, someone's disconnected from their inner child and they feel this way. Well, there's a blockage in this chakra. And the reason that there's a blockage here is because this happened to them in childhood. So I'm going to connect to that inner child when this happened, and I'm going to bring the power back to them. Like, you mend people because you're a healer. And it's so much more than, it's more so in this reading, you know these things, but I'm showing you it from like a deeper point of view to understand how much like sacredness is in that. You understand what I mean? Because your soul keeps saying to me, what's the point in psychic gifts if there is a disconnection to the heart? Because without the heart, there is no direction. With just psychic gifts, wisdom comes through, but it's all in power. What about the heart? That's the most powerful source. It connects us to the God source, the universe. What's the point otherwise? So you have this strong emotional body of empathy to relate to those around you, even people that are, you know, very engulfed in the negativity. You can still empathize and see. I feel like you will just like go into a store and you'll people watch, and through emotion, you don't just see human beings walking around, you see that inner child. You see that triggers. You see their spiritual body and their emotional body being triggered and reacting, being, pushed to the forefront. You watch it all. And I feel like even in arguments, you're a peacekeeper, but you don't even have to say much. And you soothe people because even though you're not saying anything, you actually listen. A lot of people listen to people not to understand. A lot of people listen to people to absorb, to respond, to have the argument back, to be the most knowledgeable one. You don't do that. You already have the knowledge. But it's like, I'm not listening to you to have an answer back or to act like the most intelligent person. I'm listening to you so I can understand. And your soul will just take on that information. And before you even say anything, that person that was giving you that information and that upset that they were going through, they feel healed because you took it on and understood it. You saw them. And it's a gift you have. You would make like amazing like counselors, therapists, tarot readers, Reiki healers, shamans, like even just in everyday life, you just bring peace. It's that ocean washover of cleansing. You know what I mean? And it's all with a purpose. Some people have gifts without a purpose. You're connected to your purpose, and it's the purpose of those around us, the human beings, connecting to them, nurturing them, bringing them back to their essence. And it's not this firefighting sorry way. It's just in the way the ocean just kind of comes in on time. And kind of comes in on time, and it kind of like rushes in and then it comes out. On like a summer's day where there's no wind, this is how your energy feels and how your energy is kind of like a process in people's lives. On a sunny day and there's no wind and the tide comes in, and instead of these massive roaring waves coming through, it just slowly makes its way in, and you can hear the tide in the background slowly making little splashes, but it's just coming in effortlessly and it goes out effortlessly. That's the way your soul moves. But to the people that don't want to be cleansed, and to the people that are scared of water or whatever the case, it triggers them. You know what I mean? It really, really triggers them. But the way you move, it's so gracious. And you're one of those people that you just pop up in the right time. You showing up in people's lives, there's a reason you show up in people's lives. And the reason you chose the red Jasper is you've had to decipher the people around you. Who's coming towards me because they need healing? Who's coming towards me because they are finding me alluring? And who is coming towards me because they just see beyond that and match my energy? And even though you've been learning it, people have told on themselves anyway, because your light repels darkness in that way. It transmutes darkness in that way. And while those dark attributes are not wanting to transmute it, they run then. Still does its job though, because you plant a seed. And I hope that makes sense for you. And again, this with the Nine of Cups here then, and then the Eight of Wands, we've got transmutation here. You may have a lot of 8th house placements, a lot of Scorpio placements, Plutonian energy here, and the Nine of Cups. It's like you're also learning to find emotional fulfillment in this lifetime. I feel like you're connected to the people. Those people, and they were known, but like, for example, right, this is someone that I feel like I can see in your energy. Princess Diana, right? She goes into the royal family, and I don't know what anyone's views are of the royal family. I personally don't like the royal family, right? I tapped into them. It's not something that I like. That's just my opinion. You don't have to take it on. And they're very power, greed, power, all of these things. Princess Diana wasn't like that. That's why she had such a hard time there. And she was never striving to be the most royal person. She wasn't striving to do that, while the others were. But Princess Diana is one of the most loved members of the monarchy ever. Like, she's going down in history. She was loved. I've never heard anyone say a bad word about Princess Diana. And even I connect to her very well. I think it's because she's an Aquarius moon like myself. So I listen to her speak and I connect with her so much. And I feel like you would too, because it's like, she says this interview, there's an interview, and you can Google it on YouTube or something. Just type in Princess Diana, Queen of Hearts. And it's this interview, and she says, they said, do you think you'll ever be queen? And she says, no, the monarchy and all that, they wouldn't want me to. But I believe that I want to be a queen of people's hearts, because someone's got to go out there and love somebody. And her kind of representing, I'll be the one to do that. And she was so for people. And I feel like you're such a strong humanitarian, and that's your gift. You're not for the glitz and the glam and all of that. It's cool, but you understand beyond that. You have a direct source and line to people's light and their hearts, and you can bring them to that if they wish to do that. And it triggers people. It triggers people for sure. You've watched it trigger people, but it also really aids people, and that's so beautiful, and that's something you're here to do. You're a lighthouse for people, pile 2. Strong healer. Strong healer. So let's get into your oracle cards. Now I'm gonna do this so I can make space for the cards. Your vulnerability is your strength. Your vulnerability is your strength, and you're learning to anchor yourself. And anchor is a very big symbolism for you. You may have like anchors in your room or be drawn. I was meant to say strongly drawn. I said strong. Strongly drawn to the anchor symbolism. Again, it's referencing of water as well. Anchoring you to earth so that you can take on energy but observe, don't absorb sort of thing. Okay, let's pull oracle cards. I'm trying to see if I can get like anything else before I get into the oracle cards, but maybe the oracle card will tell me more information. But just before I pull spirit guides, anything else they don't know about, because I feel like we've expanded on things they may know to get them to understand it, but do we know anything that they could, you know, something from like a past life, like anything that they could like utilize? What would be something they're not aware of in regards to their psychic gifts? You're strongly Clairaudient if you've ever wondered. Strongly Clairaudient. The clairs for you are very strong, all of them. You will receive your strongest downloads in water, lakes, ocean. I'm being told a bath in the shower, you will get downloads there, but you'd be surprised getting into like the natural essence of a lake, the natural essence of a stream, of the sea and the ocean. You'd really be able to, because water carries memories, and even if it's not your own karmic memories, it's memories of Mother Gaia herself showing you things that could aid you. And it doesn't even have to be water. If you guys can get your hands on shells, again, crystals, you work really well with crystals. I'm being told Lemurian quartz, but crystals, ocean jaspers coming through as well, but also like water from like lakes and streams. But what am I being told? What was it? Shells specifically. Get into a meditative state and ask the shell and ask Mother Gaia to show you what you need to know to aid in your journey by just holding the shell, or again, being in the sea, being whatever. Tapping into that, Mother Gaia will show you things either from your own lifetimes where you were connecting with water, or part of the past, like the past on earth, like, you know, timelines in Mother Gaia. She will show you certain how do I put this in the words, certain memories that would have happened on land, like Mother Gaia. I hope this is making sense. I'm having time to put like a hard time putting it into words, because she's showing me and I'm like, how do I use the vocabulary to put this into words? I wish I could just like copy and paste it and send it to you. Reason being I'm saying that is, again, water holds memories, and I just feel like it's even happened to you before, but sometimes you'll doubt it because you're shown things that aren't in the history books. There's a whole world of history beyond history books, is the message of Mother Gaia. There is a whole history beyond history books. So when you pick up something and you see a vision, you're like, I've never heard about this, I can't even find this on Google. Trust it, because there's a lot that hasn't been documented, there's a lot that's been warped, and there's a lot that people don't want you to know. Ooh, bit of tea coming through. So when you tap into that, trust it, write it down. There's a reason it's coming through, and what you're shown will aid you in certain ways. That's a message that came through about water for you guys. It's water specifically, and objects that would be in water that would have like had a connection, like shells and stuff. Someone has seaweed. Someone either likes to eat seaweed, or has like, yeah, no, I'm literally being shown like something with seaweed, like jewelry with seaweed, or like, so let me know what the reference of seaweed is. Someone may be really connected to seaweed. Oh, wait, okay, right. You know when you right, okay, this makes sense. Sorry, let me just get myself together. You know when people connect to marijuana, you know, all those things. I have to be careful what I say. But you know when people connect to like quote unquote herb medicine, I'm going to just say that, you have a connection to the ocean, right? What's one of the plants under the sea? Seaweed. So as long as it's like clean and okay for you to eat, ask the seaweed like you would when you're taking, again, plant medicine. You ask the plant medicine, show me something, right? Ask the seaweed, show me something. Show me something I need to know. Digest it, see what comes through. I've had the same type of message, but not with seaweed. I've had it with trees. Like certain bark, ask the tree to show you something, ask the tree to reveal something. And then like, obviously like certain barks that you actually can consume, make sure you can consume it, take it in and see what comes through. I've done that. Lots of beautiful wisdom comes through. So there's something about that with seaweed, but make sure you're not just like picking up any old seaweed. Like make sure you are aware of what you're consuming. I have to say that, but that's come through. With you, it's seaweed because it's connected to the ocean, you know. I love how I aim for 2 cards to fall out and 2 cards just come out. It's like the cards listen to me. Right, what was I saying? You guys are Reiki healers, all of that, but what was the one word that I said? You guys are shamans. What do we have here? We have the shaman. And you see the snake here? It's like you help people peel off the layers of projections of others, things that aren't serving them, the darkness. You help people peel off these layers, but some people don't want to pull off the layers. Some people are scared of what's underneath, so they run away. They slither away. But the right people are going to alchemize with you. That's what you do. Because the reason that you alchemize people like that is you see people at their core. A lot of people don't want to be seen at their core. A lot of people don't want to be seen at their core. They'll run from it. They don't want people to see them in their vulnerability, and it's fine. But again, it brings the right people to you. The right people actually want to do the work. You may find people can't look you in the eye. I feel like you're someone that will just stare at people in the eye. Or maybe you'll get to a point where you can. Because I do feel like sometimes you'll pick up on other people's nervous energy, so then you don't want to look them in the eye because you're picking up their nervousness. But then for some of you guys, you fight through it and you look them in the eye. And you really see them, and you'll watch, like, you'll stare people in the eye and they'll just look away. Because they know you're seeing through them. Their physical brain might not be able to comprehend it, but their energetic body can. We also have the mountain. It said in Lemuria, when Lemuria like fell, I've never actually asked Spirit about this, so this is something I've read, but it said that the beings in Lemuria went underground, and I don't know why this is being referenced to me. So again, it's a connection to the earth, a connection to Mother Gaia. So again, it could be you guys just planting your feet in the soil, because obviously there's moisture in the soil as well, and asking Mother Gaia to bring you downloads, because Mother Gaia is a pure essence of creation, as are you. And with you being so connected to that purity, anything else that is pure is going to respond. So by you tapping into the pure essence of Mother Gaia, the foods straight from the ground, nature, it's going to respond to you and work with you because you're wired the same way. So connect to Mother Gaia to get that information. And do you know what it is? They're showing me Pocahontas, right? And she sings Colours of the Wind. And it's showing me Grandmother Willow, and she says, listen with your heart, you will understand. And the wind comes. Ask even the air. It's beyond water for you. Even ask the air. Ask the air in the sky. Like, ask it. The breeze in the trees. Ask, what do I need to know? And be in that state of receiving, and it'll come through, because you're a pure essence of creation. That's why you see people's pure essence. So with that being said, Mother Gaia and animals and all of that, they're naturally going to be drawn to you because it's the same language. So that's a gift of yours. That purity is a gift, because then anything that aligns with it is going to be drawn to you. That's why you're so connected to animals. That's why you're so connected to Mother Gaia. That's why you're so connected to these things. Because they're a pure essence of creation, as are you. You speak the same language, and that's why. That's why. And anything that isn't, it repels. You have to be careful with what you eat, pal too. Because anything that isn't in a pure essence doesn't agree with your body. You may feel very sluggish after you eat things that are man-made. Cheetos, Takis, things like that. Peanut butter cups. Like, it's nice. But it doesn't agree with your body. And your body will reject it. because you naturally repel anything that isn't of light. That's your gift. Oh my God. I love that. I love that so much. But in your younger years, I feel like you didn't understand that. It's like, well, why are people leaving? Why are people being mean to me? Why are people chucking things at me? Why are people projecting on me? Why aren't people staying? It's like Icarus with the sun. Burns so bright. You know what I mean? That it burns them up. But it's not negative, because the sun is a life force. They shouldn't have got too close to the sun if they, if they couldn't alchemize like that. And that saves you every time. Every time. It's 33 on the clock, by the way, if you've been seeing 33. Oh. We have at the back of the deck the sword. The sword came up for pile number 1 as well. I feel like, and again, it's referencing like Harry Potter, when he pulls the sword of Gryffindor. And what are the Gryffindors? I rep the Gryffindors because I'm a Gryffindor myself. But the Gryffindors, one of their greatest like traits and why they're a Gryffindor is they're courageous and they have a strong heart. And the sword of Gryffindor represents themselves to a true Gryffindor. And you see how we say true, pure essence? True Gryffindor, someone who's courageous with a pure heart. Who is courageous with a pure heart that we've just been talking to for 33 minutes? You guys. So that's why the sword's coming through. Because I just feel like, and it's reminding me of Avatar. I don't know if you've watched Avatar, but there's a scene in Avatar where Jake, right, he talks to Awa, which is the tree of like knowledge. It kind of represents Mother Gaia, right? And he talks to her, to Awa, and there's this big fight. All the humans are coming to take the land, and Jake speaks to Awa and he says, "Can you help us? Can you help us fight?" And Naturi comes through and she says, Awa doesn't pick sides. She is just for balance because it's just like this pure energy, right? So he's like, oh, well, it was worth a shot. Their avatars, the people, the Na'vi, which is all these tribes, they're fighting to save their land, and they're starting to lose, right? And as they're starting to lose, all of nature, all of the animals literally storm in to help the Na'vi, help the tribes, and start joining forces to defend their land. And Naturi is one of my favourite scenes because it gives me chills. Naturi just shouts out and she's like, Awa heard you! And she's like screaming because Awa, quote unquote, let's call it Mother Gaia, heard Jake when he was saying to help defend, because he was like a true, because she says at the beginning that he has like a strong heart, a true heart. And I feel like that's you guys. So it always comes to aid. That light always comes to aid, and that's why it protects you. I feel like you don't even have to do much like protection spells or anything like that, because it's your light protecting you. I'm even being shown like, say now if someone, I don't know if you've ever had someone try and do work on you, like some sort of black magic or anything, but I'm just being shown like an energy going to like step towards you to like play about, because sometimes it's like not even like negative energies that will try and do it, it's just energies trying to be a menace. I have it happen a lot, and I'm just seeing this energy stepping towards you and then seeing your light and going nope, 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 and walking away even though they've been summoned, because it's like nope. I don't know whether that's this lifetime or another lifetime, but there's just this energy like seeing your force behind you, seeing that light and going nope, nope, no, I'm not alchemizing, no way, and running off. Like there is a feeling of that coming through. It's like coming through in a humorous sense, like you're covered, you know what I mean? Sorry for the noise, guys. You're covered in regards to that. Your light protects you. That was kind of funny thing that was shown to me. Pile number, oh my god, what have we got? Earth School, life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. So we have that, and then we also have, because 2 came out at the same time, they've been listening to me and just bringing the 2 that I need out. Star Keeper, Cosmic Ancestor, Seed the light by staying grounded, and you literally chose the red Jasper. Seed the light by staying grounded. You see the light in people. You see that seed of hope and light and the potential. But by you staying grounded, you don't feel the need to wake them up to it. You just become it. Rise, like have that come through, and people will respond to it. But you have to stay grounded to do that, because you're learning. You do not have to chase anything. It comes to you. You don't have to chase anything. It literally just comes to you, because like attracts like. That's something you're learning. I don't need to chase money. Money comes to me. I don't need to chase love. I am love and it comes to me. I am the magnet. You're learning that, like, fully. I don't need to chase my soul tribe. They'll come to me. I've just got to ground myself in my essence. That's something that you've been learning with Earth School, life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. What's this about? You're a teacher to many. Even if you don't choose in this lifetime, I feel like you will, but even if you don't choose in this lifetime to be some sort of like guider or healer or, you know, form of guidance or essence, that's fine if you don't choose to do it. But just know your presence is enough that does help people learn. People learn through you. Because people will, the right people, like I said, because your light protects you, the people that do have that same light within them are seeing your light like a lighthouse and are going, oh my God, like this person's shining a light on my darkness and my light. But you know what? This person had darkness too and they transmuted their darkness. So I'm going to do it to mine too. So I'm going to do what they did, listen to their words, and I'm going to transmute this darkness so I can embody my light just like them. And in turn, they become lighthouses. And in turn, the people that look at them become lighthouses. And it's this web of people. And that's what you understand as a soul. I don't need to be the most known. My light is enough. Because my light, even if I help 2 people, those 2 people can go on to help 5 people. And those 5 people can go on to help 10 people. And just by my essence alone, I've helped and shifted consciousness in some way. And that's your gift, you know? The back of the deck, oh, what was I saying about water? And Pleiades, Mintaka, and Andromeda. We literally have the seas. What was I saying about the ocean? The seas of Mintaka. That's what we have at the back of the deck. Very connected there. Seeing potential. What was I saying about you seeing the potential in people? Seeing, oh my God, bringing unconsciousness to light. Oh my God, Patu, do you not see what it literally says? Your light alchemizes people without you having to do anything, and you bring those unconscious parts of them, their shadow selves, to light. And when they don't want to do that work, they run. But it's just your essence that does it anyway, because you see the potential in them and you shine it onto them. And if they don't want to do the work, they run. And it washes over them, like I was saying, like the ocean coming in. Wow. I love how that's just synchronized. Wow. I love this. I love this a lot. Okay, one more card. Pile number 2, please, spirit guides. This is even coming from earthly times. This is coming from like your roots as like starseed, higher realms. Like that's where it's coming from. That's literally where you learned these gifts. That's where it comes from. It's a part of your essence. It's not even anything you've really had to work for. It's just been a part of you. You're like cut from that cloth. You're like a very old soul to be radiating here. Pile 2, please, spirit guides. Pile 2. What have we got? Second ray of wisdom. That's what we have here. You are very, very, very connected to your higher self, your divine feminine. And do you see the angel wings, the angelic realms, the higher realms, ascended masters? You are so connected to the point you work with them. You work with them so much. These large collective bodies of light, you work with them. And they help you channel. And they aid you. Like, I feel like your team around you, it's like Starseed, but it's like angelic beings of light. Like, that's what it feels. They're light beings. I just feel like I'm immersed in the most crystallized water. This white light. That's how it's coming through. It almost feels transparent. And it's not in the sense of, boom, I'm here. It's like, it's washing over me like water. Those are the beings that you have around you, looking out for you. Jasper's hair is everywhere. He loves this table. Loves it. Loves the crystals. Loves this table. So if you see little hairs, it's my Jasper. That's what it is. So let's take a look at the back of the... So this whole reading summed up, you're a very, very strong healer, right? A very, very strong empath. The back of the deck, what number do we just see on the clock? 33. The back of the deck, we have 33, Master Healing. And look at all the planets up here. all that wisdom. I feel like you've healed people beyond Mother Gaia. You've healed people, Pleiades, like all of that. You know, Taka, Andromeda, like Lyra. Like you work as that. You restore people like that, but they have to be willing to do the work, and that's something that you've been learning. But you can restore people by just being a lighthouse, and then they kind of listen to that light, listen to that, you know, resonate with that energy and alchemize themselves. You're a lighthouse and a teacher. You're a master healer. That's your gift. Wow. So pile number 2, that is what I had for you. I absolutely love this reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if it resonated for you. Thank you so much for allowing me to deep dive into your Akashic records and read this beautiful energy. I've thoroughly enjoyed this reading. And if you did too, let me know. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching. And hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey Pile 3, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what psychic gifts do you have that you are not aware of. We're going to be taking a deep dive into your Akashic records. I'm going to be tapping into your higher selves, your spirit guides, and any messages that come through about your psychic gifts you have and they want you to understand more of, or psychic gifts that you're just not aware of. Just anything that comes through, the origins, anything to do with your soul mission, just anything that comes through that represent these gifts. We're going to be keeping it nice and open and allowing them to come through. I'm obsessed with this reading already, and I'm only halfway through, so I'm really excited to get in. So you guys chose the jade palm stone, so I'm going to pop that up here. We're going to get in. I'm going to start with tarot, then we'll move on to your oracle cards. I mean to only use 3 tarot cards. However, if more fall, more fall. What are you going to do? So I'm going to start with tarot, and we'll move into the oracle cards. Can you sense the chirpiness of myself right now? The sun is shining, but on top of that, I've been itching to do this reading all week, and I've been savoring my energy to do it, and I am just so excited by it. It's one of my favorite readings, so that's why I'm full of beans today, you know. So pile 3, spirit guides, tap me into the collective of my pile 3, please. Tap me into the Akashic records of my pile 3s, and tap me into the spirit guides and the spirit teams of my pile number 3s. Let me know what psychic gifts they have that they may not be aware of. You, I feel, come from a pile that I've talked about where you would have learned to bring heat into your body to keep you warm. I don't feel like it's a psychic gift, but they're referencing it. Like, you are that pile that, like, I always have a pile, and I heat up when I channel anyway, because there's a lot of energy coming through. I have to literally strip and open the windows and stuff, but there's always one pile where I get a little bit hotter than most. And I've referenced it before, and the reason that I get like that is because it's a gift that you have where you would have been in time periods where it would have been very cold. Like, I'm being taken to like Alaska and places like that. It would have been cold, right? Or even like around the time of like the Ice Age or something like that. And I'm being told that you learned to really well, like, alchemize the physical body to bring heat to the physical body without having to like cover up warm and all these things, and you would radiate the heat from within. You know, like when people master the physical mind so they can move things like telekinesis, or there's a tribe, and when they get bitten by snakes, they're the most poisonous snakes. People die when they're bitten by the snakes, but they don't die because they believe that they won't, so they just don't. You have a very strong mind, and you're able to tap into your physical body and bring that to your physical body and have things like alchemized through your physical body, whether it's you need to be cold where it's hot, or you need to be hot where it's cold, or you need to mentally detach at points, or you need to hear from far away. I'm being told, like, you have very good hearing for some of you guys, and if it's not hearing, it's eyesight. There's a way that you can maneuver. You've mastered maneuvering the higher realms into the physical body, and maneuvering and alchemizing the physical body to work for you, instead of the physical body feeling a little bit out of your control. And that's something that they want to reference, because some of you guys may be trying to heal something right now in regards to your physical body. Some of you guys may be trying to heal something. And I don't know if you're aware of Dolores Cannon's work, But she would take people into a trance, connect to their starseed beings, connect to their souls. And when she would do that, let me put the cards down a minute. When she would do that, they would talk about illnesses and things like that in the physical body. And their souls would come through and speak, and they'd be like, we can heal and alchemize from things, because a lot of the things that happen to us in our physical body and the illnesses, it's like parts of our brain that have like kind of like caused that, you know what I mean? And it's like the cells attacking each other and it happens. So you can also reverse that. And there's a reference of you doing something either groundbreaking in that field or mixing two worlds together, like medicine and herbs, medicine and spirituality, things like that, mixing these things together to get a well-rounded view of how to tap into the elevated consciousness of the physical body. Because we talk about the elevated consciousness of the soul all the time. That's mostly the point of the reading. We talk about that all the time. We talk about it from an emotional standpoint, a mental standpoint. But what about the physical standpoint? Because there's a higher consciousness to the physical body too, that human beings have disconnected to it and forgotten. Your soul is one of those souls that has the key to tapping into the higher consciousness of the physical body. And that's something that just came through part 3. So that's interesting. Let's get in. So pile number 3, what gifts do my pile number 3s have that they're not aware of? What gifts do my pile number 3s have that they're not aware of? First of all, I'm being told that you're more in control of your physical body than you think. Some of you guys may have heard that and thought, I'm not in control of my physical body. I don't feel healthy right now and I'm not in control. And the message from Spirit is, you're more in control of your physical body than you think. Because you may have listened to that and gone, I don't think this is my reading. Someone's spirit guide said that they think it's not their reading. I'm being told, just wait it out a minute. Because you're more in power of it. You're taught to not be in power. We're all taught to not be in control of that physical body. And they put us on all these things. But there is an essence and a higher consciousness to it. We're all in control of it. And you have some sort of wisdom about it that I feel is going to come through. So Page of Swords, is this upright or upside down? They want it upright. Okay. Let's put it there. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. Pile number 3. What psychic gifts do pile 3s have that they're not aware of? The Hangman. What psychic gifts do my pile number 3s have? Yeah, they're literally referencing the hawk, not the hawk, the phoenix from Harry Potter. And Harry has a cut on his arm. And Phoenix, I think his name is Fox, he cries and sheds tears over Harry's scar because I think Harry's going to like die. And he mends the scar with a teardrop. That's coming through. This one might be a little bit controversial, but it's something that's coming through and that's why I'm here, so I'm going to do it. Knight of Cups, I'm going to pop here. Okay. Page of Swords, Hangman, High Priestess. Spirit guides, why is the Page of Swords here? Right, you are on an inner journey in this lifetime. In regards to psychic gifts, I feel like you've built upon them and built upon them and built upon them in other lifetimes. But I'm being told your soul is incarnating, and it's a new era for your soul, because you've incarnated a lot and you've been in High Priestess energy. So the High Priestess lives within you, right? The High Priestess lives within you. But with souls, when we elevate in consciousness, because our souls will elevate in consciousness, when we incarnate, when we've learned a set of karmic lessons, the same way that in the human life we jump from paradigm to paradigm when we've learned lessons, the soul does that too. So when the soul then starts to incarnate again in this new paradigm for the soul, new lessons that they're bringing forth come through. And this is either the first or like the second or third lifetimes where you're bringing this knowledge to the physical. And that knowledge is, and the soul purpose, this new soul purpose you have, is connecting our, your higher self saying, our Gaian brothers and sisters back to their roots. The crows flock together. They understand each other. They connect to each other more than even science can prove. They heal. They are so connected to their roots, and they're so in tune with the cycles of life, the energies of spirit. They're all in tune with it because they're in tune with the higher consciousness of their physical bodies. That's why they can understand each other, understand the weather. That's why our cat brothers and sisters, they keep calling animals brothers and sisters. That's why when there's a storm, our cat brothers and sisters, our feline brothers and sisters, they race around. They feel the shifts coming. But as human beings, it's there. We have disconnected from that. We have almost cut ourselves off at the root and plugged ourselves in to electronics, to word of mouth, to people that tell us they are in power. And we hand them our roots, and they do so what they wish with it. And we become more disconnected. We become more sick. We become more like, look at the foods in the supermarkets. Was this food grown from the earth, or was it made in a lab? And what ingredients are in these foods? How much space do they give organic fruit and veg in stores? But how much space do they give the cereals and the chocolates and the crisps and all of these things? You know? Do we ever see fresh fruit and veg advertised on TV? But do we see Cheetos advertised on TV? Do we see all of these things? Do we see nature advertised on TV? But do we see electronics and games and phones advertised on TV? I've decided, this is your soul coming through, I've decided that my mission is for us to root ourselves back into the soil and connect straight back to Mother Gaia and understand the higher consciousness of this physical body. So the gift I want to speak about today is how strongly you, my Palo 3s, are connected to the physical realm of Mother Gaia, and that there's a higher consciousness to it. There's foods that can heal us, and you have wisdom of this because you, in past lives, would have made, how do I explain this? You would have been some sort of like Dr. Sebi type of person that would have cured people with nature, cured people with Gaia, cured people with like, there's this reference of like, there is a, you know that saying, I've heard something along these lines that there's a fruit or a plant for every disease. There's something about that coming through. And not only that, but like the power of the mind and being able to affect the physical body. You know when you see people and they put like rice in a jar, and they'll put like rice in one jar and rice in the other jar. One jar, they'll speak to the rice really mean. You're bad, rice, all of these things. I don't know what they say. I guess that's what they say to the rice. I don't know what I'd say that's mean to rice, but they say mean things to it, right? And they go to the other thing of rice, and then they say, I don't know what they say there, but I guess I would say, you're beautiful, right? So they say all these nice things to the rice. Stay with me. Stay with me. And then they go back and take a look at it a couple of days later, and the rice that they were mean to is turned. It's gone dead. It's no use anymore. But the rice that they said nice things to, it flourished. That was just the power of words and energy. So imagine the intent of that to the physical body. And their mental side of the, the mental side of the body and the physical, the woundings and all that. Imagine that intent to the physical body, because we have everything around us screaming at our physical body to not have us connected to its higher consciousness, whether it's the food we're putting in it, whether it's the music we're hearing, because there's all subliminals and stuff in the music, you know what I mean? And it's all of that. And we're looking on social media and we're told you've got to change this and you've got to be different and you can't be happy in your body and all of these things. So you're taking it on and you're thinking, oh my God, I haven't got where I want to be yet, and I don't have that car, and you're talking to yourself then negatively. Oh my God, it's a hustle and grind culture, and I'm tired, so I'm disconnecting from my body's need to nurture itself and cleanse itself and take time off social media and rest, because hustle culture said that I have to keep going. So I'm plugged into a different paradigm now, and I'm ignoring my physical body, and I'm keeping going. Does nature rush? When you look at a forest, like they're referencing like a forest and like the streams, the way the streams move, and the way that like trees will fall and then plants will grow over the trees, and it all just happens. There's no catastrophe. It all just happens simplistically, and it's because it's connected to its own higher consciousness, because when humans are gone, nature will prevail always. And that's something that I'm being told. You're here, and your gift is to tap into the higher consciousness of the body and alchemize the physical body. Wow, that's really interesting. And they were almost wanting with the hangman as well to leave you hanging, to have you follow that path. Because if you are feeling overstimulated right now with foods, because you've got to be careful what you put in your body with foods, I feel. Foods, technology, all of these things, a lot of your wisdom will come through path 3 when you turn off the phone, you turn off these things, and you sit in nature and you just listen to nature, and you allow nature to teach you, because you understand it, and you're able then to disconnect and tap into your own root and listen. There's this reference of like tribes of souls, and back in the day, this is what I'm being told, back in the day, these tribes, the way they'd move about, it wasn't like, let's go here, this would be good for us, or this would be, it was like energetically, these tribes are being called to this part of Mother Gaia, this part of the land. We're needed here because we all collectively feel it, because our feet are barefoot on the ground and we can feel the shift because we're connected to Mother Gaia. We can feel it, and we'll walk to that space and bring that guidance and bring that light there. And when we move to that space, another tribe is going to take our place here because of these energetic grids moving around. And if you look at animals, that's what they do all the time. When you look at birds and the way they flock west and south and east, that's what they're doing. I've even had a download of birds when they're flying in the sky. They don't just fly around. They move in grids of where they're needed intuitively. And your gift in this lifetime is to tap into that and understand it and bring people back into their physical body like that. Because I feel like you're someone, and it's something that you're moving towards in this lifetime. Like, someone could come to you and go, I have anxiety, I can't sleep, I have insomnia, I have blah, 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 blah. Like, they'll say all these things. And you can almost like tap into your own essence, tap into their essence, tap into their root and go, okay, well, we need to cut away this weed, which is people tugging on your energy. You need better boundaries here. This herb will work with you. So I'm going to give you this herb to work with, and then I'm going to do healing energy on you, because you are this high priestess at your core, and shamanic healing to do soul retrieval and bring these parts back to you, so that, yes, okay, we're alchemizing the emotional and the mental and the spiritual, but what's happening is the higher consciousness of the physical, and tapping back into that so you can feel right as Ray and connected to your physical body. So you no longer feel like you need to escape and go into the abyss. You're in this physical body and you're seeing the light and the higher consciousness of everything right here in Mother Gaia, in the crystals, in the trees, seeing colors. I feel like you can even see colors that people can't see if you really tap into it. You can see auras. You can like look at a tree and see bright colors shining from it if you tap into it. That's something that I'm being told. This is a bit of a different way that I thought this reading was going to take, but this is what's coming through. And there's not much that you need to do, but it's almost this feeling of like, if you're feeling disconnected and you're like, this sounds cool, but I don't feel, Spirit's saying replant yourself. What do we do with a plant when it's starting to die? What do we do with a plant? And the leaves are withering. We replant it. What happens when it's growing? We replant it. We put it in another pot. We give it more sunlight. We look at it. Okay, well, where would you, we'll move the plant. Okay, get into the sunlight then. Let me give you some more water. Let me pull the water back a minute. What do you need? You know what I mean? Even when you put crystals in plants, it helps them. I do that myself. And you're being told to do that because by stepping into that essence, you'll be able to activate the higher consciousness of the physical body. And they're being careful what they say, because they don't want me to imprint on downloads you'll get, because then you might think, oh, well, Lexi said that, so I haven't really downloaded this. So they're wanting me to keep a gap so that you can just bring this information through yourself, because that's your piece of information that comes through, and they're kind of wanting you to take the spotlight there. So they're saying for me to kind of hold off and giving you too much downloads in regards to what you'll come to find when you tap into your physical body and repot yourself and tap into your root, because that's a journey in itself. that you're going to take yourself to. That's why they're being very careful what I say there. But in regards to psychic gifts, I feel like you've mastered the spiritual body, the healing, soul, like, again, soul retrieval. I feel like in the past as well, you would help souls. This is what you used to do in past lives. You used to help souls, what's the word? Transcend, that were earthbound. You know, sometimes when we pass, sometimes we won't ascend to the higher realm straight away because we may feel there's unfinished business, we may be scared, we may not have had a belief that there was a higher realm, so we may just be stuck, or we don't want to have passed. And sometimes souls then can get earthbound. Your soul in past lives would connect to beings that were earthbound and help them ascend and pass on. You did that in past lives. And I feel like even in this lifetime, maybe souls that haven't passed on may crop up around you because they remember, or like they've heard, or they can see that would have been like a purpose for you, and they may like be like trying to get messages through to you like that. So that's something that I'm being told. If you've ever had like little weird paranormal things happening, because if you're not wanting to answer them in that sense, or if you're in quite like a high vibration and you're not tapping into them in that sense, they'll start moving things in the physical, and you're seeing all these things moving like that because they're getting your attention in the physical. So that's something that's coming through, that they're wanting to confirm. But you would have done that in past lives because you are the high priestess within your body anyway, but it's bringing that to the physical, becoming the high priestess of the physical body. You're kind of bringing back now, because this shift that's going on collectively through spirit, the collective consciousness, the shifting, we are moving back to our roots. That's why there's so many distractions to take us out of our bodies and tap us into fear. There's a lot of that going on, and I feel like you're one of those souls that's aiding human beings in coming back to source. Because as well as we come back to our heart and we come back to our soul, we also come back to our physical body, because while we are here, the bodies that we are residing in are our Gaian bodies. They were given to us by Mother Gaia. So we need to learn to maneuver them to the highest degree. That's something you're doing. That's a part of your soul's mission. Some people's is like mental. They're learning to tap into parts of the brain that haven't even been accessed yet. Some people, they're helping people with the spiritual. Some people are helping people with the emotions. You're helping people in the physical, and you're on the early stages of this this shift in consciousness with the physical body. You're able to download as well, but I feel like that's coming through with the high priestess. You're able to download, and it's something that's just within you. The reason they're not talking about it is because you already know. I feel like you already know. You direct channel from spirit, and I feel like you know how intuitive you are. You already do all of that, and that's why they're saying to get out in nature and just ask nature to show you things. See what comes through. You may, if you watched my pick a card for what ancient wisdom do you have within you, Lemurian, Avalon, and Atlantis, you may have been from the pile where I talked about Avalon, because in that pile there were beings that were able to read leaves and the ground. And you know, like when you read the palms of a hand, I was being shown beings that could read the stems of the leaves and know what was going on in that certain part of Mother Gaia and what was going on there, or be able to read other people through Mother Gaia and the stems of the leaves. And I feel like if you haven't watched it, or if you do watch it, like any of that, I feel like you'd be drawn to that pile, because that's something I'm actually being shown again. So it's something that would have come through. You actually love Mother Gaia, and I feel like you're saying, no, I don't. No, you don't like the fast-paced energy that we're all in right now. You don't like the disconnect of human beings. That's what you don't like. You love Mother Gaia. I'm being told. It's a part of you. I'm being told. A part of you. How can we... This is an energy coming through from one of your higher selves. How can we deny these parts of ourselves? Yeah, there's a strong reference from your higher self saying, how can we deny these parts of ourselves when every other being understands the nature of it and taps into it, but we disconnect from it? How can we deny it? The power our bodies have. How can we deny that? It's great to have the wisdom and the intuition, but we forget what vessel we're residing in to bring it here. We have to take care of it. We have to take care of ourselves, or we'll go extinct ourselves. The same way that we're allowing our brothers and sisters in the animal kingdom to go extinct. And the more consciousness we connect to our physical body, the more we'll be able to communicate with them and have more empathy and be able to give them what they need so they don't go extinct. That's a message from someone's higher self that came through. You're very strongly connected to animals. So the next card we have is the Sustainer. And I'm going to pull one more card. And then I'll read them, I'll channel for them cards. Let me pull one more to go next to it. Pile number 2, please, Spirit Guides. Pile number 2. Not pile number 2, pile number 3. I was thinking 2 because I was picking the second card. Pile number 3. We have, I hope I say this correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, Anima Mundi. That's what we have for your second card. So let's channel for those. Right, guys, what I was going to do was read the messages of these cards to get the base and then channel, right? So I read the message of this card and I can't believe what's just come through. I'm going to read it to you. I don't normally read from a book. I like to just channel, right, when it comes to cards like this. If I can't pick up a straight thing from them, right? I go to look at the book to see what this card means. Literally listen to this. What was I just talking about? And listen to what this says. The Sustainer, the second archetype in the trio of existence, works behind the scenes tending to the tasks of life. They cultivate gardens, pay bills, keep the meals warm, and the mouths sweetly fed. The Sustainer is at peace in the process of life, knowing there is no start or finish to humble yet meaningful tasks. They have a natural inclination to nourish others, to archive, to preserve Earth's resources, to consider environmental impact, to see their role in the divine cycle of life. It's common for the Sustainer to become overworked, leading to resentment. Their tasks aren't glamorous, and therefore the Sustainer rarely receives the credit or attention. The Sustainer longs to hold things in place so badly that they resist necessary change. Take time with this archetype. It is within us all and needs our love. So you are so connected to Mother Gaia, and the way that sometimes I'll say to people, you're a channeler from the higher realms to the physical. You are a channeler to the divine wisdom of Gaia, to the parts of us that forgot about it. You are so connected to the environment, to the plants, to the animals. You may feel not so much connected to the stars, right, in this lifetime. You may feel connected to Earth. You may feel like an earth angel because you're here to preserve nature. Our connection, our root, our complete connection to source. That's what you're here to do. And you are a bridge from the higher consciousness of Gaia to the parts of us that forgot that we are even connected to it. You're here to bring that wisdom back. That's what you're here to do. And that's what this card is literally representing. Damn. Right, let me read the other card. So the next card, you guys, and again I'm reading from the book because I'm absolutely loving how these are like synchronized with what I've been talking about. So the next card says, Anima Mundi epitomizes the principle, accept all, reject none. Simply put, it is the living soul of the world in all its multifaceted, multidimensional layers, bonded together by loving cosmic forces. Diversity is celebrated, multiplicity is honored, and nothing is denied embrace. Constructs of separation dissipate into the wonderful mess of shared consciousness. Anima Mundi is the link between the literal and the imaginal, the rational and the mythical. It is the connective fiber that makes life meaningful. This card indicates an initiation on the level of the soul. You will awaken the unique light of the soul. You will awaken the unique light within and witness how the light contributes to the radiance of the entire universe. You will sense yourself as a critical note in the cosmic orchestra. Destiny is altered as you hear the enchanted melody of all things. So what I'm envisioning here when I read that passage, you guys, is your whole mission, and this is coming straight from your Akashic records. This is a new leaf that you've even turned in your own soul's evolution. And it's like, okay, we're bringing the spirit back, we're bringing all of this back, but sometimes we can get caught up in the Pisces element of what's beyond the physical. But we forget that what's beyond the physical then has to be grounded into the physical body. Because while we can connect to starseeds and while we can connect to all of that, the whole point of us fighting to keep our essence here, and the whole point that we're fighting to keep our heart and our connection here, is to bring Mother Gaia to the higher realms with us, and to bring that collective consciousness with us. And we can't do it if we're not rooted. So while, yes, the spiritual and all of that is meant to be built upon, we don't want to neglect our physical body and our connection to nature, because that's where it's all happening right now. Yes, we're planning and in preparation for this transmutation that is happening right now, but we forget where the transmutation happens. And it's right now. It's happening right now. So we need to tap into this core. Because while we're ascending in these ways, we forget that all of this abundance and all of that, we're doing it for us right now. We're doing it for the animals and the sea creatures and Mother Gaia all around us right now. That's why we're doing it, and that's why I'm here. To remember why we're doing it and where we need to root ourselves so we can see and bring that heaven to earth. We're not trying to ascend out of the physical body to reach heaven. We're bringing heaven to the physical body through connecting to it within us. It's within us, and that's what we're doing. And that's part of my gift, and that's why I'm here. It's a new leaf, but this is the path that I'm now walking on, is a message coming through. Wow. The force that came through me while I spoke that, like I felt like I had a sword in my hand and I was ready to save Mother Gaia from like all distraction. And I feel like you live that every day. And I just think that is so cool. Like, I just want to hug you so much. Like, you live that every day. You have such connection to Mother Gaia and the high, like, wow. Like, I want to give you a pat on the back. Like, wow. That's what your soul's here to do. Literally. In the back of the deck, we have the healer. But there's all types of healers. There's mental healers. There's spiritual healers. There's emotional healers. And there's physical healers. And the physical healer has been distorted through time. And you're here to bring back the essence. Damn, so let's pull some more cards. Let's pull the Starseed Oracle. Let's pull these now. Pile 3. What gifts do my pile 3s have? What gifts do my pile number 3s have? Oh, what gifts do my pile number 3s have that they're not aware of? Tap me into my pile 3s. Akashic Records. I've just dropped every kind of card on the floor. 2 seconds. I've got to go under my table to grab them. I feel, do you know what I'm being shown with you guys? Matilda. Reason being, you know, she could move stuff with a physical body. You either did that in past lives, or either in this lifetime, because the thing is with Akashic Records, it's not just compilements of our past, it's compilements of our future. And I don't know whether it's now or in the future, or maybe it was on other like places like Mintaka, Pleiades, whatever. You will aid people in the power of the physical body and the mind with like telekinesis. I seen somebody on TikTok the other day. I haven't got to this point yet within myself. I can't do this yet. She had a crystal on her hand and she just did this and the crystal moved. I can do it with flames. I can see a flame and just do that and then it'll diminish, but I can't do it with like a solid yet. And I feel like even in this lifetime you might be able to do that, and I feel like that's something you will teach people down the line, because at one point the metaphysical side of life is going to be confirmed by scientists and people are really going to be delving into that. And I feel like you're one of those people, whether it's in this lifetime or maybe the next, you're going to be teaching people, because that's happened me in as well to future lifetimes, you're going to be teaching people how to move with their hands, move the physical with their hands, because nothing is truly set in stone physical. Everything can be alchemized. And while we're transitioning from the 3D to like the 4D and the 5D, things become less quote unquote solid, if that makes sense. So you're teaching people while the transcendence of the physical body maneuvers, you're teaching people to do that. And this lifetime and the last lifetime you had, and maybe the one after this, no, it's the last lifetime you had. It's not forward. You're doing something. It's this lifetime and the lifetime before. You're creating the base, the ground base of where you start, and then building upon it, then moving forward in other lifetimes. That's coming through. Pile number, oh my god, pile number 3. What psychic gifts my pile number 3 have that they're not aware of? All paths lead home. In that authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. That's reminding me of Stonehenge. You may feel quite connected to Stonehenge, pile 3. Let me pull one more card and then I'll channel these 2 cards. Pile number 3. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. Pile number 3. What psychic gift do pile 3 have that they're not aware of? The thing is, we have cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. The thing is, when we are here to teach something, we have to do it ourselves. We're here to be a healer. We have to learn to heal ourselves. We're here to bring ourselves to salvation. We have to kind of like fall into the abyss and then bring ourselves to our resurrection. And the thing about this sort of journey is, whether it was the last lifetime, and it could be the last lifetime you went through an illness that then you had to cure. So in this lifetime, you're very careful with your health. You may have a lot of 6th house placements, a lot of Virgo placements. Or it could be in this lifetime, you've been overcoming something of the physical body. And then next lifetime, you're very careful with your health and you're very careful with what you're doing. So it's like, this is the next set of lifetimes. There'll probably be about 6 to 8 where you're teaching, and every lifetime gets lighter and lighter as you learn how to root and build upon it. That's what I'm being told. Sorry for the noise outside, guys. Someone's, I think, hurt themselves. They seem to be screaming. I'll tell them to contact you guys so you can heal their physical body for them. I'll put them on to you guys. Yeah, someone's hurt themselves. Yeah, so cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. All paths lead home, inner authority, intuition. And as well, you may even find on this journey, in this lifetime, not a lot of people can really lead you in ways, because you're here to bring the information from the past to now, which hasn't even been resurrected yet. So you may look for answers as to what you're finding and may not find it, because you're here to be the one that funds it and finds that in this lifetime. We wouldn't be talking on phones if it wasn't for the person that created the phone. We wouldn't be using tarot cards if it wasn't for the person that created tarot. But just because it wasn't created by someone else yet didn't stop them from making it. And that's a message that your higher self has for you. It's like a bit of a turn in this reading, but I'm really intrigued. I'm excited to see your comments about this. I love this. Back of the deck we have Starkeeper, Cosmic Ancestor, Seed the light by staying grounded. Seed the light by staying grounded. What's the point of ascending if we haven't mastered grounding? I'm here to help master the grounding. Because otherwise, we're disconnecting to our physical body. We don't have a foundation to build upon. I'm here to build that foundation. I'm here to teach people where their anchor lays, where their inner healer lays, where their roots are, where their seeds are, and nurture their seeds. There may be an illusion of us being severed from our physical body, but it's not actually true. Because if you're still in your physical body, there's still a connection there. That's a message from one of your spirit guides. Your higher selves are coming through so enthusiastic as well about this. So enthusiastic about Earth is shifting, what's happening to our physical body. Like, it's exciting. And they're showing me Aries, but they're showing me Aries in the sense of, like, Aries is the start of the zodiacs, you know what I mean? Aries is like that first house, that first kind of energy. When we look at like the rising sign where it is at birth, it's like our that kind of seed. And it's like you're even at the beginning of learning these lessons and bringing this information out. And your soul's excited for it. It's like, this is fun. Like, your soul's coming through like that. You may not think it in this lifetime. You're probably like, oh oh my god, like this is a lot, but your soul's like, this is fun. Your soul's very curious as well. Be open to learning beyond what you've been taught is a message from your higher self in this lifetime. Mother Gaia may not have a classroom, pencils and pens and a notebook with a stern teacher with a pair of glasses, but what Mother Gaia does have is beings that have been connected to the higher consciousness of their body for lifetimes, and they're going to be one of the greatest teachers to you. That's a message coming through. We also have, as your final card, the heart transmission. That's what we have here. The reason you're so excited for this and your soul's coming through so enthusiastic is because your heart is so resonant with Mother Gaia. When you incarnate, you don't just incarnate like, oh, I'm here in Mintaka, let's go. It's like, oh my god, this place is a luxury to even be here. The waters, the plants, the people, this is beautiful. And then you come to earth and you see that, but then it wounds you when you see people disrespecting nature and littering and disrespecting animals. Like, that hurts you because your heart's so connected to them, you know? Guys, look at the back of the deck. Alchemical mutation. Our DNA can mutate and change. Look at him planting his crops on the floor. Your understanding in this next couple of lifetimes, your true connection to Mother Gaia and how much you're connected to Mother Gaia, that's where your gifts lay. Digesting that information, digesting and learning from Mother Gaia so that you can help alchemize others who may feel severed to that connection and bring them back to their inner peace. We're not supposed to be rushing about. We're supposed to be being and living. That's the point. We've forgotten it. It's time to root ourselves back. That is the message from your higher selves and your spirit guides about your gifts. And I know it was more of a soul mission type of thing, but that's why it came through, to give you the whole picture and being told. And that was beautiful. So pile 3, I learned so much from this reading. So I want to say thank you guys for letting me read your energy, tap into your Akashic records. This has been beautiful. I really hope this sparked something in you. I really hope this planted a seed, if you get what I mean. Because, you know, nature and you guys, you know, you go hand in hand. I'm using puns. But I really hope that this enlightened something within you. And I really hope that you enjoyed. So hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching. Again, thank you so much for letting me read your energy. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pal 4, welcome to your reading. So we are going to be taking a look at what psychic gifts you have that you may not be aware of. So we're going to be diving into your Akashic records. We're going to be taking a deep dive there. We're going to be connecting to your higher self, your spirit guides, and we're going to be seeing the psychic gifts that you have in this lifetime, where you've built upon them, the roots of those psychic gifts. We might even tap into a little bit of your soul mission and how they kind of coincide. It's been a bit of a ride with the last 3 piles. I'm already obsessed with this reading, so as you can tell, I'm very excited to get into this. I'm super excited. This is just probably going to be one of my favorite pickle cards ever. So we're going to let whatever needs to come through come through. And yeah, let's get straight in. I don't want to wait anymore. So we have the amethyst pile. It's what you guys got that's what you guys got drawn to. Do you see me wanting to get stuck in? I'm very excited. So you guys chose the amethyst. I'm going to start with tarot. We'll move on to the oracle cards. But like I said with the other piles, with these readings, I love to just channel. I just love what comes through like that. So I tend to channel more than read the cards. So we'll probably only pull 3. However, if other cards do fall, we'll allow them to fall and see what message they have. But I'll be more so focusing on oracle cards and just channeling for you guys, okay? So my pile 4s, please, spirit guides, tap me into the collective of my pile 4, the amethyst pile. Please tap me into the collective of pile 4. Tap me into the Akashic records of my pile number 4, the spirit guides of my pile number 4, the higher selves of my pile number 4, and tap me into their psychic gifts. Psychic gifts they may not be aware that they have. Okay. First off, they're taking me to the Mayans. I feel like you have past lives there. And I'm being told that you have a very strong connection to your intuition. Super, 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 super strong. Like, you're one of those people where, like, do you know, have you ever done this thing where, like, people hold, like, fingers behind their back and they're like, how many fingers am I holding up? You really tap into it. You can, like, see the physical body in your mind's eye disappear and you can see the fingers being held up. Like, your parents would be like, because you're psychic. I'm being seen like a child and they're going, what do I have for Christmas? And the parents going, you can't know yet. And there's this box, but like you can see through the box and into the present psychically. And you like say it out loud, like, oh, there's a book in there. And then your parents would be like, how do you know that you've been peeking? And you're like, that was a guess. But it wasn't a guess. You just psychically saw it. So you might have even got in trouble. Like, well, how do you know that? The reason I'm saying it is they're showing me a Doctor Who scene. I don't know if any of you guys have watched Doctor Who. I rave about it every day on this channel. Like, you probably hear me talk about it a lot because I love it. And there's an episode in season 3. I know all the episodes. I know their names and everything, right? But there's this episode where this boy had psychic gifts. It came from this watch that he had, right? And because it was like in olden days, it was like a boarding school for boys, and the other boy next to him was a bit of a bully. He was reading a letter from a family member that was in a different part of the world. I think it was like Germany or something like that. And the psychic little boy goes, how is your brother in Germany? But this boy had only just found out that his brother was in Germany through this letter. So this bully is like turning to the psychic little boy and going, how do you know this? You've been spying on me. You've been reading my letters. And he's like, no, I just know things. Sometimes I say stuff and it turns out to be true. That's you guys. You have psychic foresight and psychic visions. You have it. And sometimes you think, oh, lucky guess. Oh, that was a coincidence. No, it wasn't a coincidence. Very, very psychic. Very psychic. Because you kind of, which pal was it? I think it was pal 1. Might have been drawn to pal 1. But you, like pal 1, are quite connected to your Akashic records. I find people that have very open crown chakras and very open third eyes, they will be connected to their Akashic records. It's quite easy for them to dip into it. And we don't just have an Akashic records for our souls, we have Akashic records for life. Mother Gaia has her own Akashic records. And the Akashic records aren't just about our past, it's about our present, it's about our future, it's about our potentials. With you being tapping into your own Akashic records, you're tapping into future timelines that you haven't even maybe incarnated into yet, because it's all back and forth, up and down. Time isn't linear. So by you doing that, you have psychic premonitions of things that have happened in life that haven't even happened on Earth's timeline yet, but you can even tap in to the Akashic records of Mother Gaia and see where that headed. It might frighten you sometimes, some things you see, but you can do it. Your gift is that you can tap into the Akashic records of crystals. Again, Mother Gaia, your brother, your sister, your mother, your house. Like, I feel like you've seen fragments of time. Reason being, some people would think they've seen a ghost or spirit, and it's kind of true, they've seen an energy, but it wasn't an energy presenting themselves to them, it was fragments of time, because time isn't linear. So that's why we hear these stories of a spirit walking through a wall, or they weren't walking through a wall, that was the Akashic records that were being tapped into, and at one point in time that wall was a doorway. And they're watching a time period where that person, while they were alive in the physical, walked through that doorway. And then they got seen a ghost. And you can call it that if you want, but they haven't seen spirit in the sense that it's come to them. They've tapped into timelines. They've tapped into Akashic records. And one of your big gifts that you have, pal 4, is that you are able to see timelines that have been and gone. Closest we'll probably get to time traveling, maybe. I don't know. I've never really asked Spirit about time travel like that because I see it in a different way. But you can tap into Akashic records like that. And it works as well because, like, you'll hear someone say a story and it's either fabricated or an outright lie. And you can tell that it's a lie, you can tell that it's fabricated, because while they're saying it, you're tapping into the essence of where that story came from. And you're tapping into the Akashic records, so you're seeing the truth of it. So when people are lying, you're seeing the truth. And when people are fabricating, because sometimes people will tell the truth, but they'll fabricate. And sometimes they don't mean to do it, but we can distort our memories over time. So sometimes that happens. You can see that. You can see where something's been fabricated or not, because you see the essence of the Akashic records of it. You can have a pet, you'll understand why they're there. That they're a guide, or they incarnated before. You can see all of that, because you can see directly through to their Akashic records. And we'll get into as to how, but that's a gift they really want to highlight, because by doing that, we can tap into our own potential in this timeline and maneuver to get ourselves there. And that's something that you're learning to do. Wow, okay. Pile number 4. Another thing, and this came up in pile 3. Either pile 3 or pile 2. I think it was pile 3. No, it was pile 2, sorry. It was pile 2. Because you can tap into Akashic records, you can tap into the Akashic records of Mother Gaia. So Mother Gaia can present to you timelines in history that have happened. But the thing about seeing that is that the history that we are told about in mainstream like media, and even in our history books today, some of that, believe it or not, has been fabricated. And there's a lot of history to Mother Gaia that's never even been documented, or it's been hidden from the public. You can tap into it. So and I said this to pile 2 because they could do it, but more so through like emotions. It was like they could absorb it, whereas you can tap into it like Akashic record wise. So when you hear something, or you're shown something by Mother Gaia or a time period, and you're like, but I can't find the answer to this on Google or in any history book. That's because it's not on Google or in a history book. You're tapping into sacred knowledge that's either been hidden or never tapped into before, but you can remember it. So don't doubt yourself. When these messages come through, and the reason they're even presenting them to yourselves anyway, is either because in one lifetime you're alive for it, so as a part of your Akashic records, or Mother Gaia is presenting it to you because it can aid you in some way. So make sure you're writing it down. Even if it comes in dreams, it comes out in nature, or it just comes out in a vision, write it down. Even if it sounds bizarre, you may be picking up something from Atlantis or Lemurian. And so the average human brain, that can sound so bizarre, some of the things that we see. Like when I tapped into my Lemurian lifetime, I was like, oh, this is crazy. I connect with me on a heart level, but my human brain's telling me this is insane. Write it down. Write it down, I'm being told. In a book as well. Write it down in a book, like a piece of paper that you can keep on you. That's something that I'm being told for you guys. So let's get into your cards. I'm finding it really easy to tap into your Akashic records because, first of all, your higher self, do you know that emoji of the hands and they do this? Like that. Have I ever told you in readings you feel like a friend, or have I ever spoken to you outside of YouTube? Either that or our souls have a past life connection, because your higher self does that to me. And I'm being told that because when I read, I embody people. I'm embodying your fluidity in tapping into the Akashic records. That's how I'm like, boom, 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 boom. I'm not picking up cards yet because I'm tapping into how well you can do it. Pile number 4. Pile number 4. Tapping into pile number 4's Akashic records, please, spirit guides. What gifts do they have that they're not aware of? I'm being told to say as well, everything has an Akashic record. Everything does. Crystals, everything. Page of Swords. Tap me into my pile number 4's Akashic records. What psychic gifts do they have that they're not aware of? 8 of Swords. Jasper's hairs. I was saying this to one of the other piles as well. It's almost like you're tapping into the Akashic records of this reading, because I'm mentioning the other piles more than ever, because it's like you're seeing the whole reading, and I'm getting little things coming up again, like Jasper's hair being here. And I said to one of the piles, if you see little hairs like that, it's because Jasper loves my table. He's taken Softy's place in sitting on the table. I like to think they both sit on you together now. And I still see his little hairs and it reminds me of Softy. So if you see that, that's what it is. Pile number 4. What psychic gifts do pile 4 have? 2 of Wands. And the back of the deck, we have the 9 of Swords. you're like a problem solver because you understand life from a higher point of view. Some people will only see life through like eye level, through the ground level, and that's fine if that's like a part of what they chose to live life for. It's part of their mission to see it like that. But when we're doing that, we will not see in hindsight. We won't have foresight. We won't be able to see the remote viewing and the higher purpose of everything that we're going through. We won't be able to see the light in our darkest times and the lessons and the hard lessons we're learning in even our lighter times. Like, we're not able to see the double meaning, the double-edged sword. We're not able to see all of that. But because you have this psychic gift of being able to tap into Akashic records like that, you are able to have someone come to you and go, there is no way I can even move forward in my life right now. I'm stuck in my life right now. I don't know how to get out of this situation. I don't know how to get money. I don't know how to do all of these things. And it's like a heap of things. And they're lost in this abyss. And they come to you and you tap into their Akashic records and you can just instantly, you don't even see a fault in anything that's going on. You're like, oh, well, this is pretty easy. This is what I'm going to tell you to do. So first off, you need to declutter your brain and you need to do this. And then you need to invest your money here, and then you need to, and you can see from a high perspective and go, okay, psychically your spiritual body needs to do this. While you're doing this, and it's very easy, you then have to do this with your physical body and eat this or do this with your physical body. Very easy. And you're straightening out these lines for them while they've got themselves in like a riddle, because you understand the higher purpose. And they could be grieving from something with this Nine of Swords, like, I can't get over the loss of this, or I can't get over the breakup. I don't see the meaning of it. You're here to bring meaning to it. You went through this because of this, and you learned this. You learned boundaries. You learned strength in yourself. You learned all of these things. You learned that by going through this situation because, and I feel like you'll just tell people about themselves. Like, you can just tap into it, and it's like you're channeling, so you don't even realize you're doing anything, but they're walking away from it. Their prayers answered because you're like sent them to just give them that information and give them that deeper understanding. And that's something that you're here to do. It's a psychic gift that you have. I feel like you're it's like your higher self's kind of through in like the higher realms, like sitting there with like a big book of like everyone's past, future, and everything. And it's like you're sitting there at this table and it's like a big sign up top going, problem solver. And then people are coming up to you and they're going, I can't get over this and I can't heal from this. And you're like, oh, okay, wait. And then you're turning the pages and going, right, blah, blah, blah. And you can see the whole essence of that whole makeup, and then able to like put the puzzle back. They're showing me a jigsaw, put the puzzle back together to help them find themselves and bring themselves to wholeness. And that's a gift that you have. So you may have been born, Pelfor, into a situation where there was so much that went on, so much like, it was like a spiral, and I feel like your life was this one big inner journey where you were just finding the meaning, healing parts of yourself, and understanding why things happened, and having these big breakthroughs. And you may have gone through dark night of the soul, or gone through many dark nights, or Kundalini awakening, or many ascensions and breakdowns where you're transmuting and finding and understanding parts of yourself. And it's like this one big jigsaw, because you read between the lines, you see beyond just the physical, because you see from an elevated point of view, and you have already alchemized in other lifetimes your physical body, your emotional body, your spiritual body, your mental body. So in this lifetime, as well as you in your ancestral line, bringing all of that back into focus, your physical, your mental, your emotional, your spiritual, I feel like you would have learned to do that quite young. So then what you're here to do then is help other people connect to those parts of themselves, to help other people feel whole, to bring understanding to people, maybe be a motivational speaker to people, a lighthouse to people, a healer to people, a problem solver. Like, that's what you're here to do, and see from a higher perspective. I feel like anything that goes on, even if it's like a tragedy, it's like you'll grieve, you'll feel the necessary human emotions that you're supposed to feel, you'll give them the forefront and the center stage to weep out. And then you'll treat those emotions like visitors, or maybe you'll learn to treat those emotions like visitors and not get carried away from them, let them fall away. And it's like, right, we understand what's going on from all of these levels. Let's find the higher meaning and let's see what we can do to move forward. Like, that's your soul. Because the thing is, in this paradigm that we're in right now, conscious wise, and I feel like you know this because, again, you're always having things represented to you in like prophetic dreams and stuff. In this lifetime, there is a shift. There's so many light beings and light workers and souls in general coming here to learn from the shift that's going on collectively right now. And even when we look at, again, it's like it's happening to the Akashic records of the reading. I'm bringing up the other piles. It's like we had pile 1 who was you know, kind of like that shaman and connecting to that and that psychic side, right? And connecting people to the psychic side. And then you had pile 2, which was connecting people back to their emotions and their vulnerability. And pile 3, that was bringing people to the physical. All of these light workers are coming down. But while all of this stuff is going on, there's parts of people that are going to get scared by things that are going on. Look what's happened in the past 2 years. And look what's happening right now at the time of the reading. There's a lot going on. And there's a lot of people in fear. There's a lot of people scared. There's a crisis going on with people right now because it's a whole dark night of the soul of the collective going on right now. And you are here to soothe that, bring meaning to that, and center people with that. And not allow them to get carried away with fear and all this, and bring them back to themselves and tap into their highest potential on their Akashic records so they can help. Is it that you can help individually, every individual person that comes to you, elevate, so that when all of these things are going on, collectively, we're elevating out of this timeline and into a state of where there's a bit more peace and there's a bit more understanding and there's a bit more of a wholeness in the collective, because there's a lot of people that have lost parts of themselves. And I feel like you're here to aid bringing those parts of people back to themselves and coming back, like tapping back into the higher potential and why they're here. It's like you're almost that seed for people to wake up, for people to see a deeper meaning, for people to you're like that seed. And a bit of a mender in a way. Like I'm being shown you like a needle and thread, like mending, patching things back up. Because you see all that there is. And you may not be able to comprehend it all in this physical incarnation because there's so much we don't comprehend in our physical brains. It's kind of impossible to do that right now. But the bits that you can comprehend, you're able to use them to aid. You could go out in nature, sit with a tree, get the Akashic records of the tree. That tree would have been here from thousands of years ago. You'd be able to tap into it. You might even get psychic visions of like 1429 when this happened next to that. Like you will have that come through. I don't doubt that you'd have that come through. I don't doubt that at all. That's like within you to be able to do. You're like, you have the key to the Akashic records in a way. And you would do well with your psychic gifts to do Akashic record readings. I can actually see you psychically like on a timeline where you do that. People coming to you for Akashic record readings. I feel like you'd be like a master at that. Very good at it. Very, very good at it. Or like past life readings, Starseed, because you get it. You get it. You see it from that higher point of view. And you have such a balanced approach to it as well. Like there's no running away with your emotions from it. There's no detesting. It's like you understand the dark and the light. You understand these things because you've alchemized them within yourself. So you understand them in other people. You understand why things are. You get it, you know? So let's pull some more cards. So pile number 4. What psychic gifts do my pile 4s have that they're not aware of? What psychic gifts do my pile 4s have that they're not aware of? Oh, your cards jumped out. I would say again, do you see me? I keep referencing the other piles because you pick up on like past, present, future. You pick up on it. But what I was saying in the other piles was when I'm shuffling my cards, I want 2 and 2 keep falling out. It's like they're listening to me. That's what I was saying in one of the other piles. I think it was 3. You might even, some people just tell you their Akashic records. You're sitting there like next to someone and they're like, you know what, in 1998 I did this, and then in 1962 I did this, and I felt this. Like people will just tell you their past if they're not energetically telling you, they're like physically letting you know. Before you don't even know them. You're gonna pick up some like yogurt at the store and the ladies there and they're like, this morning I put two odd shoes on, and you're just there like, I've said nothing. This person's given me a life story, because people are just like, here's my Akashic records, here's the timeline of my day. You seem to like be able to tap into that, so I don't know why, but my physical body's responding to your energy. I'm telling you what's going on. You even have animals come up to you and they're like really loud, and then you're like, what's going on? But they're energetically like, this is my story. Like, people just tell you their story, and it's just like, you're just taking it all on, like, oh, okay, because you're bringing it out of them. And you'll find that sometimes you don't even have to say anything. People will find the realization in why they're saying it to you in the story. They'll find like a part of a missing puzzle just by telling it to you. Because even though physically you're not saying anything and they're just talking from their physical sense, there's two higher selves here linking up that are in a what's it called? What's it called when two people come together and transfer stuff? When I channel, my mind goes blank. Forgot the word. You guys will probably know the words or comment if you know what I mean. But you're in transfer, that's it. You guys are in this transfer in the higher realms, and then it's taking place in the physical where this person's telling you their life story, and you're not even saying anything, but your like beings are there behind each other like, thank you very much, like I needed to get this out. And then your higher self's like, no worries, I'm gonna go eat my yogurt now, thank you very much. And then you walk away and you're like, oh, and you even feel accomplished because your soul's just accomplished something. That's so interesting. Like, I feel like that happens a lot with you. Yeah, I feel like that happens a lot. You heal without even saying anything because your higher self's like, right, okay. It's like, you may have even met people in this lifetime that you didn't even have it charted to meet them, because like when we meet someone, it's like we'll have it like written, like I'm gonna help this person, but sometimes with our soul charts, if you want to know more about soul charts, I have a link in, not a link, I have a playlist in my YouTube. It's in my spirituality playlist, and there's a video called Your Soul in a Physical Body, I think that's what it's called, and I talk about life charts there. But sometimes we can kind of like shift our life charts and shift that to like have other chance meetings come in, and I feel like souls in the higher realms will like hear about you and then be like, okay, I'm going to meet this person only briefly at a party, and I'm gonna just like have a little bit of guidance, and then your higher self will greenlight it, like, yeah, okay. And then you're at this party and all of a sudden this person's just sitting there talking to you off, telling you about this ex, and you're not even doing anything, but your higher self's there like listening, like yep, and they're coming to a realization, and they're walking away hugging you. Sorry for the noise, guys. They're walking away like, thank you so much for that chat, and you're like, I don't even think I did anything, but higher self wise you did. Because they came to that realization. So it's like little things like that happen because you are quite a guide, I'm being told. So the two cards that we have is the Father, and we have the Sword. The Swords come out in pretty much a lot of the readings. Do I need to shut the window? Is that too loud? So I'm going to read the passage out to you guys for the Father, and then I'll read the passage out for the Sword. But the Father's passage is, alongside the Mother, the Father resides in the central axis of the archetypal family. The Father embodies both light and dark aspects of the masculine, thus he is infinitely dynamic and complex. His energy is strong and regal, embodying such virtues as honesty, wisdom, and loyalty, yet ironically and simultaneously. The Father is often absent, literally or emotionally. Through absence or action, the Father eventually reveals that he is neither a king nor a god, but a human being with many flaws and wounds. He is both the guardian and one who leaves us to the wolves, here yet gone, the champion and the failure. The Father can never resolve or escape this duality. It is inherent in the archetype itself. Witnessing the Father's limitations allows the child to grow beyond the family and into the world. So you may have had to work through a wound, you guys, in this lifetime where a certain parent, specifically the masculine, whether it was the mother who had masculine traits or whether it was literally your own father, you would have dealt with people like You would have dealt with a situation where someone was absent or didn't live up to the role that they should have. And that led you to ask a lot of questions or have this sense of abandonment. And I feel like you've been working to heal that. But I feel like one of the essences of this situation is for you guys to teach people that when these situations happen where they're disappointed, when these situations happen where they're hurt, there is a darkness and a light to everything, and you're helping them again see things from the higher perspective, and that is your gift. There is a light and dark to everything. It would have been nice to have this, but look at the wisdom I gained through not having it. Because now, what this person could have taught me, I would have just understood it, but I wouldn't have understood it to a high degree. Now that this person wasn't there to teach me it, I taught it myself. So now I see it from a higher perspective. So now I can teach people that lesson from a higher perspective, because I understand it deeper, because I brought it to myself where I didn't have it. I now understand the absence of it and the presence of it, which brings it to me as a whole. Whereas if I always had it, I would not understand the absence of it, and I wouldn't be able to understand it as deep. So that's something that you have a gift of and are able to teach people. I never felt love as a child. I brought it to myself. So now I understand the absence and how to bring it to myself. I never had self-confidence as a child. No one ever taught me to be confident in myself and assert boundaries. But I brought it to myself. So I understand the absence. I understand the journey to bringing it back. I understand the power of having it. So I understand duality. And that is why you're able to see so deeply into everything, because you understand the lack and the embodiment. Hope that makes sense for you guys. That's a beautiful message that came through. So let's read the sword. I haven't actually read the actual message of the sword for anyone. I've just like given a kind of like message that I've been guided to give, whereas for you guys I actually want to read it for some reason. So I think there's something in the actual message of it in the book. So I'm going to read that for you guys. Normally I'll cut this part of the video out where I'm looking, but I may as well just speak while I try and find it. I think I'm close, I think. So while I'm looking for the message, spirit guys, is there anything else? Yeah, your soul understands the dark and light. Your soul understands duality, and that's a gift that you have. I feel like you've lived through some dark emotions, so you understand the root of them. Maybe you were bullied. And maybe one time you decided that you were going to go down to that person's level, and whether it was revenge, I'm not judging either way, or it was maybe this person brought you down to their level, but by being brought down to their level, or maybe even getting revenge, you understood how dark it was there and the actual motives of being there. So you understood why that person was acting out of that energy, and then when you transmuted to light, you understood what it was like to be in their... to be the villain, if that makes sense. You understood why they are the villain and why they're that person, and then you understood the villain archetype to a deeper degree, and that's a gift you have. I just heard I am all. Like, I am all. I understand it, you know? Because you're a soul as well. You don't care to take on challenging lifetimes if it means you'll understand things, even if it's not the brightest lesson. You'll take it on to understand it. So you have a lot of wisdom like that. And you might even scare yourself sometimes. Like, you may understand the motive of someone that was mean to you, or understand why somebody bullied, and then you're thinking, wait, am I a bad person? No, you're not a bad person. You're just understanding the duality. And the more we run from that darkness, the more we're bypassing it. You are not a bypasser. You'll stand in your darkness and your light. You'll stand in your wounds and your gifts. You'll stand in all of that. You'll stand in the balance and embody it. So those parts of people that they neglect, you may say it to them or mirror it to them, and they may get frightened and project onto you and run away. They're doing it because you can see those two sides. They might not like that. That can be scary to people, especially if they're shunning those parts of themselves. It's like sometimes when we watch a love reading, sometimes when we watch a love reading, we don't want to hear that maybe we're overgiving or we're seeking love outside of ourselves. We don't want to hear that. But then there's a reader that will come along and say, I think you're looking for love outside of that. And I can trigger, you know what I mean? Oh, you're a bad person. Why would you say that to me? But it's like, you're that person who will understand duality. And if you are a tarot reader or something like that, you are someone that will say it as it is, the dark and the light. And then whoever, you know, decides to embody that, cool. They're on your timeline. They're meant to be helped by you. And then the people that don't, They don't have to. They can just walk away and bypass that part of themselves. Maybe it's not their time to tune into that part of themselves. That's fine too. But you're very like, this is the truth. You're for the truth, you know? So the sword message is, to use the sword is to decide. The blade separates one reality from another. The choice is made and all else falls away. If you find the sword in your grasp, you can no longer hesitate. This weapon requires a clear and decisive mind and a willingness to act. An onlooker may think the sword bearer is hasty and violent, but the most compassionate and responsible gesture is one that is honest, swift, and accurate. Our first encounter with the sword is at birth, when the cord we share with the mother is cut. The mother defines our separation from her and begins our journey of becoming ourself. We must make these cuts again and again if we are to grow. Decisions shape our life, and the sword is an infamous shaper of destiny. So, what was I saying about you seeing the dark and the light and being like, people will come to you with all of this baggage they don't even need, and you'll tell them what to cut, how to step away from that, who to cut off, because you see things from the higher potential and you see the dark and the light. You get it. You know what I mean? You're able to weed through the weeds. People will come to you with a messy garden and you'll chop down all of the weeds and get it beautiful and get it all neat and perfected because you're like a problem solver. And I feel like people have even told you, you're thinking too deep. You're thinking too deep. You're meant to do that in this lifetime. It's actually a part of your gift. Maybe not all the time, because you want to live and be in the present too, but it's a gift of yours. That's why you see so deeply. That's why you read so deeply into everything. And also being told you have excellent memory, because even though the human self has forgotten the memory, you have this infinite knowledge of the Akashic records. So even though the human self has forgot the memory and it's blocked out, you can access it through your own Akashic records, so the memory is never lost. Some people, they'll forget that memory and it'll become distorted because they may not have access to their Akashic records in that way. So they can't fluidly tap into it. Whereas the reason you have such a good memory isn't just like, oh, I have good memory. It's because you tap into the Akashic records of it, you know? We have the underworld at the back of the deck as well, which basically is representing you guys being able to see the darkness and the light, the monster under the bed. You're the type of person to go under the bed, talk to the monster, give it a bit of therapy. What's going on? Why are we under the bed for? You know what I mean? Like, why are we here? You know? What's going on? Are you okay? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know if you've seen that video of Demi Lovato, and she likes... It's kind of like people were making fun of her. I don't really know what was going on. I haven't asked Spirit. I don't know if there's any truth to it. But Demi Lovato thought that she was connecting to either an alien or a spirit. And she sang to it because she thought that the spirit or the alien was going through something. I can't remember what it was. But they were going through something and she wanted to help it. Or so, I don't know. Something like that. Everyone was clowning her for it. I know that much. But... there's this reference of you guys, like, people being scared of what's under the bed, and you're like, right, let's get into the darkness and see what's going on here. Let's roll up the sleeves. What are we actually scared of? You're aware that people aren't actually scared of the dark, they're scared of what's in the dark. So you shine your light on what's in the dark, you know? When you hear noises in the dark in your bedroom, most people will close their eyes and fall asleep and pretend they're not hearing it. There's not an ounce of your soul that will bypass anything. I feel like you might have even been young, like, opening your eyes, like, right, what? What is going on? I can feel a spirit walking around this room. What's going on? What's happening here? Like, you're like that. It's like, you'll just take it on. You just see all that there is. There's nothing to fear. And the older you get, the more you tap into it. And that's a huge gift that you have. That's why the sword's coming out. It's like, you'll slay that. You understand dark and night, the sun, the moon. You understand it. And look how your cards are split in two. Not all of the cards are split in two, but these two are. You literally have the sun, what looks like the sun and the moon there. It's split in two. You have one side, you have the other side. You have it here as well. You have one side, the other side. Even with the guy holding the world, when we look at the earth, there's a side of it that's lit up and there's a side of it in the dark. You understand duality. Because you understand all that there is per the Akashic records. Pile number 4. What is pile number 4's psychic gifts that I'm not aware of? Your life is a canvas, artist, manifestation, creative, accountability. We get one more card. Pile number 4, please, Spirit Guides. Pile number 4. What psychic gifts do my pile 4s have? A new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. You can see where we're walking to, and you can see the potential of the highest timeline that we're walking to. So you're stepping towards it with this wisdom and helping people reach that potential, because it starts with the average human being, the singular human being. You help one person, that person goes on to help another 3, and those 3 people go on to help another 5, and you're aware of that. And that's what you're here to do. Your life is a canvas. It's like reaching the highest potential of that manifestation, creating accountability. We have to take accountability of our shadow and our light to reach the abundance and the balance of where we're going. On the back of the deck, we have spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. What I'm being told with that card, again, it's like a doorway you're walking through. I feel like you're assisting humanity at this time, spiritually, to get back into a balanced state. That's something I'm being told. Pile 4. Tap into my pile number 4's Akashic records, please, Spirit Guides. Pile number 4, please, Spirit Guides. Pile number 4. What psychic gifts do my pile number 4? Ascension, the Rainbow Bridge. Yeah, this is basically referencing that the reason that you're opening to, look at the heart space here, the reason that you're tapping into the Akashic records is so that you can tap. Let me put this in the words a minute. It's coming through. Let me tap it. Let me get it in. Yeah, the 8 and the 1 adding up to 9. As obviously 8 and 1, 9, you know, numerology, that's what I mean. With that adding up to 9, 9 is the end of a karmic cycle. 9 is like endings, because after 9 we go to 1, which is new beginnings. The earth is reaching the end of one sort of paradigm that we're in right now, and you're bringing your knowledge and helping people assist from that number 9. If you've ever been through a numerology year number 9, you know that's full of endings, and then you move on to your numerology year number 1, and you have to kind of build up from the ground, and there's a new version of you being birthed. You're here to assist that, and that's why these gifts are coming through. You're here to be that problem solver, because in this paradigm that on earth we're jumping into, we are more conscious with ourselves and our physical body and all of that. So your work then is needed. People are looking for light workers now than ever before, psychics now than ever before, people like this, healers, counselors now than ever before, because there's a breakdown of the physical body, the mental body, the emotional body. It's happening in society. Look at the breakdowns we've been having over the past couple of years. It's happening and it's imminent, and that's why you're needed. That's why you came. Wow. So pile number 4, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm so grateful for you guys letting me read your energy and tap into your Akashic records. I have so much love for you guys and letting me doing this reading, because this pick a card is probably now my favorite pick a card ever. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if this resonated for you, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching.